Have you ever faced a problem that seemed too big or complicated to solve? Maybe you felt stuck, unsure of what to do next. The truth is, life throws challenges at everyone, but the difference between those who struggle and those who succeed is how they think and act in response. This book is about learning the art of strategic thinking, a way to approach problems clearly, make better decisions, and take control of your life. It's not about quick fixes or luck. It's about building habits that help you grow every single day, no matter what obstacles come your way. Inside, you'll find practical advice you can start using right now. We'll break down how to focus your mind, create solid plans, and adjust when things don't go as expected. You'll learn why stepping outside your comfort zone is necessary for real growth, and how to turn mistakes into powerful lessons. We'll also talk about managing your time and energy, simplifying your goals, and keeping track of what really holds you back so you can fix it. This journey isn't just about tactics, it's about changing how you see yourself and the world. You'll discover how to protect your peace, set boundaries that matter, and stay calm even when life gets tough. You'll learn why listening more and talking less sharpens your thinking, and why small daily wins build strong self-discipline. Measuring your progress and quickly upgrading your strategies keeps you moving forward faster than you might expect. And above all, you'll commit to growing every day, no matter what. If you want to outsmart any challenge and win big in life, this book will guide you step by step. It's about taking control, making steady improvements, and becoming the person who faces difficulty with confidence and clarity. Stay with me and let's start building a better mindset and better habits today. Your future self will thank you for it. Chapter 1. Master your mind by choosing thoughts with purpose daily. Most people wake up and allow their minds to wander without direction. Thoughts come and go, pulled by noise, by mood, by the behavior of others, and without realizing it, they begin their day reacting, not leading. Their emotions dictate their choices, their surroundings shape their decisions, and without structure, their inner world becomes chaotic, unfocused and fragile. But the ones who win in life, who grow, who overcome, who stay steady even in pressure, have one thing in common. They master their mind. They do not hand their thoughts over to the world. They choose them, they train them, they use them with purpose, because they know the quality of their thoughts determines the direction of their life. If your mind is your operating system, then your thoughts are the commands. Every thought you feed yourself is a signal. It shapes your energy. It influences your body. It sets off a chain reaction of choices, feelings, and habits. So, if your thoughts are weak, scattered, angry, or filled with doubt, it doesn't matter how big your goals are, you will not follow through. But when your thinking becomes clean, sharp, and deliberate, everything else begins to follow. You take action when others hesitate. You stay calm when others panic. You stay focused when others get lost. Strategic thinking does not start in books, theories, or plans. It starts inside your own head, with your ability to choose your thoughts with purpose every single day. The first step in mastering your mind is becoming aware of what you're thinking. Most people go their whole day without realizing what they're feeding themselves mentally. They have no filter. Their mind gets hijacked by the news, by social media, by gossip, by fear, by other people's negativity. You cannot expect to live with clarity and discipline if your mental environment is polluted. So, you need to pause and start paying attention. Watch your thoughts. Notice them like an observer. Ask yourself, where is this thought coming from? Is it helping me or weakening me? Is it building me or breaking me? If you do not become aware of your thoughts, they will control you without you even noticing. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant grows. If you plant self-doubt, it grows. If you plant resentment, it grows. If you plant mental laziness, it grows. But if you plant responsibility, purpose, discipline, and clarity, it also grows. The difference between people who move forward and those who stay stuck is not talent. It's the kind of thinking they feed themselves every single day. You cannot grow a strong life with weak thinking. You need to clean the soil, pull out the weeds, and deliberately choose what you feed your mind. Not once, but constantly. Not only when you feel motivated, but especially when you feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. That's when the choice becomes most powerful. One of the strongest habits you can build is a daily mental check-in. Take 5 minutes in the morning to ask yourself, what thoughts do I need today to move forward? What thoughts must I avoid to protect my peace? Set the tone for the day. Don't let the day set it for you. You may have to repeat those thoughts to yourself throughout the day. You may have to write them down. You may have to speak them out loud. Whatever it takes to make them stick. Purposeful thinking is not just positive thinking. It is productive thinking. It is focused thinking. It is choosing thoughts that align with your values and your direction. It is a daily decision to lead your mind, not follow it blindly. There will be moments when your old patterns come back. Your mind will want to default to worry, frustration, or confusion. This is normal. You are human, but the discipline is in how quickly you return, how quickly you bring yourself back to clarity, how fast you correct your internal state. And this only comes from practice. You do not need to be perfect, but you need to be consistent. Each time you correct your thoughts, you strengthen your control. You reinforce the habit. You prove to yourself that you are in charge, that you are not a victim of emotion or circumstance, that you can choose your perspective at any moment, no matter what is happening around you. One powerful exercise is to carry a small notepad or use your phone and write down every negative or useless thought you catch throughout the day. At the end of the day, review the list. Then ask yourself, did this thought help me? Did it bring me closer to my goals? Did it improve my decisions or weaken them? Most of the time you'll find these thoughts were just noise. They drained your energy, they clouded your clarity, and they distracted you from your mission. Now, for each thought, replace it with a better one. One that serves your growth. One that reflects strength, not weakness. This is how you start rewiring your thinking. This is how you train your mental filter to work in your favor. Another key practice is intentional exposure. You become what you consume. The books you read, the conversations you have, the voices you listen to. If you surround yourself with people who think small, complain constantly, or make excuses, that thinking will start to infect you. But if you choose to engage with people and content that reflect discipline, purpose, and strength, your own thinking will rise. You will start to think in solutions. You will start to speak with clarity. You will start to act with purpose. This does not mean you cut off the world completely. It means you are selective. You take ownership of your inputs because you know they become your internal world. Mastering your mind also means learning to sit with discomfort. You cannot think clearly if you run from hard emotions. If you bury stress, fear, or doubt, it only grows. But if you face it, if you sit with it, if you understand it, you dissolve its power. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward with clarity, even when fear is present. And that decision starts with your thinking. If your thoughts are rooted in fear, you will avoid, delay, or collapse. But if your thoughts are grounded in responsibility and purpose, you will move anyway. You will stay strategic even in pressure. You will act even when the path is not perfect. Many people believe the secret to change is motivation. But motivation fades. The real key is mental consistency. It is waking up and choosing thoughts that support your vision, even when you don't feel like it. It is doing the internal work over and over again until it becomes who you are. This is not easy, but it is worth it. Because once you take control of your mind, you unlock every other area of life. You stop chasing temporary highs. You stop needing approval. You stop living on edge. You become steady, clear, and focused. You start showing up with energy, with courage, with direction. You stop getting thrown off by little things. You stay rooted in what matters. Thoughts are not just thoughts. They become words. Words become behavior. Behavior becomes habits. Habits become your character, and character becomes your destiny. This is why it matters so deeply to master your mind. It is not some motivational idea. It is the foundation of everything. You cannot build a strategic life with an undisciplined mind. You cannot win big if you think small. You cannot grow daily if you think reactively. You must take full ownership of your thinking and refine it with purpose. This is the beginning of real power, of self-mastery, of inner strength that cannot be taken away. Start each morning by asking, what kind of person do I want to be today? What kind of thinking does that person practice? And throughout your day, keep coming back to that. If your thoughts slip into negativity, correct them. If your mind gets foggy, refocus. If you get discouraged, remind yourself of your purpose. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to stay committed. Over time, your thinking will become clearer, more focused, more strategic, and the results will show in your actions, your relationships, and your growth. Do not underestimate the power of one disciplined thought. One strong thought can break a cycle of weakness. One clear thought can help you act with courage. One intentional thought can reset your whole day. But you must choose it. You must practice it. You must protect your thinking like your life depends on it. Because it does. Nothing will shape your success more than the quality of your mind. Not money, not opportunity, not luck. Your mind is your greatest asset. Master it, and you can master anything. No matter where you are right now, you can begin. You can take this moment and decide to think with clarity, to think with strength, to think with purpose. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your doubts. You are whatever you decide to feed your mind today. If you want to win, think like a winner. If you want to grow, think like a builder. If you want peace, think with responsibility. The power is in your hands. Use it wisely. Use it daily. Choose your thoughts with purpose, and your life will begin to change, slowly, steadily, and without limit. Chapter 2. Train your focus to block out useless distractions completely. Most people fail to reach their full potential, not because they lack talent or resources, but because their focus is scattered. They start the day with good intentions, but quickly get pulled in different directions. A message pings, a video catches their eye, an unnecessary task distracts them, and before they realize it, hours are gone. The day feels full, but nothing meaningful gets done. If you want to live a powerful life, if you want to become someone who rises above the average, then you must train your focus. You must treat your attention like it's gold, because it is. Every great achievement, every deep transformation, every strong habit starts with your ability to direct your focus where it truly matters and keep it there long enough to see results. Focus is not something you're born with, it's something you build, and like any skill, it requires training, not once or twice, but every day. It starts with understanding this: your brain will take the easiest path unless you teach it not to. It will jump to the next shiny thing, it will seek comfort, it will resist discipline, That's not a flaw, that's just how it's wired. But you are not your impulses. You are the one who decides whether you act on them or not. If you want to block out distractions, you have to stop feeding them. Every time you give in to a pointless notification, every time you scroll aimlessly, every time you start something without finishing, you're reinforcing a habit of fragmentation, and that habit will destroy your potential if you let it. Real focus begins before you sit down to work. It begins with clarity. What matters today, what task, if done well, will make the biggest difference? Without clarity, your brain will jump from one low-priority task to another, just to feel busy. You'll chase urgency instead of importance. You'll check emails. You'll clean your desk. You'll do anything except the thing that actually moves your life forward. So you must begin each day with a target. One target, not 10. If everything is important, nothing is. Ask yourself, what's the one task that deserves my full attention today? Then protect it like it's sacred, because it is. If you do this consistently, even for a short amount of time, your entire trajectory changes. But setting the target is only step one. The next step is creating an environment where focus becomes the natural choice, not the hard one. Your environment is not neutral. It either strengthens your focus or weakens it. If your phone is within reach, you'll check it. If your space is cluttered, your mind will be cluttered. If people can interrupt you at any time, they will. So change your environment to reflect your priorities. Turn off unnecessary alerts. Block distracting websites. Tell people when you're not available. Use noise-canceling headphones. Whatever it takes to create a space where your mind can go deep. Don't try to rely on willpower alone. Design your surroundings so that focus is built into the system. Once your environment supports focus, it's time to train your ability to stay with something long enough to create real progress. Most people never go deep because they're always switching. They jump from one window to another, from one tab to another, from one idea to another. This constant switching trains the brain to crave novelty, not depth, and you cannot master anything without depth. So start by setting a timer, just 25 or 50 minutes. Choose one task, one window, one objective. No switching, no checking, no jumping. Just stay. You will feel discomfort. You will feel the urge to move on. But if you resist that urge, you're building real power. You're building the muscle of focus that will serve you for life. During these focus blocks, don't just work hard. Work smart. Eliminate friction. Break tasks into small, clear steps. Don't sit down and say, write a report. That's too vague. Say, write the first paragraph, or outline 3 bullet points. Specificity reduces overwhelm. And when you reduce overwhelm, you reduce avoidance. The clearer the task, the easier it is to start. And starting is everything. Once you begin, momentum takes over. But if you stay vague, you'll procrastinate. Not because you're lazy, but because your brain doesn't know where to begin. Train your brain to approach each task with structure. Focus is not just about intensity, it's about clarity, simplicity, and direction. As you build your focus muscle, don't expect perfection. You will slip. You will check your phone. You will get distracted. That's part of the process. The key is how quickly you return. Every time you catch yourself drifting and bring your attention back, you strengthen your control. Focus is not about never getting distracted. It's about returning faster each time. It's about noticing when your attention wanders and bringing it back without judgment. This self-awareness is a powerful skill. It keeps you from wasting hours. It keeps you grounded in what matters. And over time, it becomes automatic. Another powerful way to train your focus is to reduce the number of decisions you make each day. Decision fatigue is real. The more small choices you make, what to eat, what to wear, what to check, the less energy you have for deep work. So simplify your routines. Plan your day the night before. Use systems. Batch similar tasks. Remove low-value choices. When your mind is free from unnecessary decisions, it becomes sharper, calmer, and more focused on what truly matters. You don't need to think about everything. You just need to think about the right things. Protect your mental energy like it's your most valuable resource, because it is. And remember, focus is not just for work, it's for life. Be fully present when you eat, when you speak with someone, when you go for a walk. The way you do anything becomes the way you do everything. If you train yourself to focus deeply during small moments, it becomes natural to focus during big ones. You start noticing things others miss. You start feeling more in control. You start experiencing life, not just rushing through it. This is what strategic thinking requires, the ability to give your full attention to what matters and ignore what doesn't. The ability to think clearly, decide quickly, and act powerfully. Without noise, without confusion, without hesitation. You will be tempted to multitask. Multitasking is a myth. You are not doing more. You are doing everything worse. It destroys efficiency. It fractures attention. It makes you feel busy, but leaves you empty. One thing at a time is not a weakness. It's a strength. The best thinkers, the best performers, the best leaders do one thing at a time with complete presence. Then they move to the next. This is how results are built. Not through scattered effort, but through focused energy, applied consistently. At the end of each day, reflect what pulled your attention today that didn't deserve it. What helped you stay focused? What will you change tomorrow? These questions sharpen your self-awareness. They help you notice patterns. They help you upgrade your system. And they remind you that focus is not a one-time decision. It is a daily discipline, a skill you sharpen, a choice you make again and again, until it becomes who you are. You don't need more hours in the day. You need fewer distractions. You need sharper boundaries. You need stronger clarity. And most of all, you need to train your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Nothing will accelerate your life more than the ability to block out what doesn't matter and lock in on what does. It will make you more productive, more creative, more present, more alive. Most people are too distracted to ever find their real power. Don't let that be you. Train your focus every day. Guard it like treasure, and you will begin to rise while others stay stuck. Chapter 3. Build a solid plan and follow it without excuse. Most people struggle in life not because they lack potential, but because they don't have a clear structure guiding their actions. They jump from one goal to another, change their mind constantly, and let their emotions run the show. They rely on motivation, hoping it will carry them through. But motivation fades, life gets hard, and without a solid plan, they fall back into the same cycle, starting strong, burning out, and quitting. If you want real progress, if you want results that last, you must build a plan that is simple, clear, and grounded in your values. And once that plan is in place, you must follow it without giving yourself an escape route. No excuses. No waiting for the right mood. No negotiating with your laziness. You do what you said you would do every day. A plan is not just a to-do list. It is a commitment to direction. It's the difference between reacting to life and shaping it. When you build a solid plan, you are telling yourself and the world, this is where I'm going, and this is how I'm getting there. Without a plan, time controls you. With a plan, you control your time. And when you control your time, you control your growth. But most people avoid planning because it requires responsibility. It forces you to think ahead, make hard choices, and stick to them even when it's uncomfortable. But that discomfort is where growth begins. If you want a better life, you must stop improvising your way through it. The first step in building a solid plan is to know exactly what you want. Not what sounds good, not what others expect, but what truly matters to you. Vague intentions create vague actions. You need specifics. What are you working toward? Why does it matter? What will it look like when it's done? The clearer your target, the sharper your decisions. When you know what matters, it becomes easier to say no to what doesn't. Your plan should be built on priorities, not distractions. Once your goal is clear, break it down, divide it into smaller objectives. Turn those into weekly targets and daily tasks. You don't climb a mountain in one step. You climb it by taking one clear, deliberate step at a time. A strong plan is built on clarity, but it lives in action. And the truth is, most people plan too much and act too little. They create perfect schedules, make beautiful spreadsheets, watch motivational videos, but they don't do the work. A plan that is not followed is just a wish. So when you create your plan, keep it simple enough to execute. You don't need 20 steps. You need 2 or 3 that move you forward every day. The simpler the system, the more likely you are to use it. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. It's better to follow a simple plan daily than a complex one occasionally. Excuses are the enemy of every plan, and they will come. You will feel tired, you will doubt yourself, you will say, "I'll do it later," or "It's not the right time." That's when you must remember why you built the plan in the first place. It's not about how you feel in the moment, it's about the person you're becoming. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not closed by motivation. It's closed by doing what you said you would do, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline means keeping promises to yourself, and every time you follow your plan when it would be easier to quit, you build inner strength that cannot be taken away. The truth is, you will never feel like doing the hard work all the time. No one does. The difference between those who win and those who don't is not energy, it's execution. Winners act whether they feel ready or not. They understand that success is built in moments of discomfort. When your mind says, "Skip it," and you do it anyway, that's where confidence is born. Your plan is your anchor. It keeps you grounded when life gets unpredictable. It keeps you focused when the world gets loud, but only if you follow it without compromise. You also need to track your progress. A plan without tracking is like driving with no dashboard. You don't know how fast you're going. You don't know if you're off course. You don't know if you're moving at all. At the end of each day, look back at your actions. Did you follow through? Did you make excuses? Did you finish what you started? Reflection is not about guilt. It's about improvement. It helps you see where you need to adjust. It keeps you honest. When you track your behavior, you learn your patterns, you see what works and what doesn't, and then you use that feedback to refine your plan and grow stronger. You must also expect resistance. Life will not cooperate with your schedule. Unexpected problems will come. You will have bad days. That's not a reason to abandon the plan. That's a reason to stick to it even harder. Your plan should not fall apart the moment something goes wrong. It should be strong enough to bend but not break. Build flexibility into your system. If something takes longer than expected, adjust your time. If one task fails, move to the next. But never let a single bad day become a reason to give up completely. Miss one day, get back the next. Fall behind, catch up slowly. The plan stays alive as long as you keep showing up. It's also important to separate your emotions from your plan. Your feelings will fluctuate. Some days you'll feel confident. Some days you won't. That doesn't matter. Your plan is not based on your feelings, it's based on your direction. When emotions take over, you become reactive. You start doing what's easy instead of what's necessary. You chase comfort instead of progress. Strategic thinking requires emotional control. It requires you to feel discomfort and still follow through. Your plan is not there to serve your emotions. It's there to build your future. Respect it, protect it, and act on it regardless of how you feel. Your environment will influence your ability to follow your plan. If you're surrounded by distractions, if you spend time with people who don't respect structure, if your space is chaotic, your plan will suffer. So build an environment that supports your goals. Set boundaries with people who pull you away from your direction. Organize your space so that everything you need is ready. Remove temptations that break your flow. The easier it is to follow your plan, the more likely you are to stick to it. This is not about making life rigid, it's about building a life that reflects your priorities. And finally, take full ownership. No one is coming to save you. No one will build your life for you. If you don't follow your plan, no one else pays the price but you. Blaming your situation, your schedule, or your past won't help. The only thing that helps is deciding today that your life matters enough to be planned and executed with intention. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to stop making excuses. Every excuse delays your growth. Every excuse keeps you stuck, and every excuse can be replaced with action. If you decide that your future is more important than your comfort, you have the ability to change your life. Not by dreaming, not by hoping, but by building a clear plan and following it with discipline. Every day you act on that plan, you become stronger. You move closer to your potential. You prove to yourself that you are capable of real change. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen if you refuse to quit. Start now. Build the plan. Follow it with intention. Adjust when needed, but never, ever make excuses. This is how you win. This is how you lead your life. This is how transformation begins. One committed day at a time. Chapter 4. Study your actions and adjust when results do not come. Most people don't fail because they didn't try hard enough. They fail because they keep doing the same thing over and over again, even when it doesn't work. They follow routines that bring no results. They repeat actions that give them no progress, and when the outcome doesn't change, they get discouraged and stop. But effort without awareness leads to exhaustion. You can work all day, stay busy, and still go nowhere if you're not paying attention to what your actions are actually creating. If you want to grow, if you want to win, you must study your actions. Not just once, but constantly. You have to treat your life like a project. You try something, you see the outcome, and if that outcome doesn't move you forward, you make changes. This is how progress is made. Not by doing more, but by doing better. Success is never about blind effort, it's about intelligent effort. And intelligence means you ask questions. What did I do today that actually worked? What did I do that was a waste of time? Where did I lose energy? Where did I gain momentum? Most people never stop to ask these questions. They just push through. They follow habits that keep them busy but don't move the needle. They think persistence means doing the same thing harder, but persistence only works when it's paired with reflection. You need to pause and look closely at what you're doing, especially when the results are not showing up. When you're not getting the results you expected, your first instinct might be to push harder, and sometimes that's necessary. But many times, the smarter move is to stop and reassess. Doing more of what doesn't work won't fix the problem. You need to break it down. Look at your actions like data. Be honest with yourself. Are your actions aligned with your goal? or just with your comfort zone? Are you working on things that actually matter, or just filling time to avoid discomfort? Often, what feels productive is actually just distraction. The only way to know the difference is to look back and study your behavior. The ability to analyze your own behavior without emotion is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. It removes ego from the process. It allows you to look at your results without making it personal. This is not about blaming yourself. It's about learning. If something isn't working, that doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means you've found a strategy that doesn't fit your goal. Good. Now you know. Now you can shift. Now you can upgrade your method. This is what self-leaders do. They don't get stuck on pride. They don't stay attached to old systems. They stay open. They evolve. And because of that, they grow while others stay stuck. You also need to be specific when you reflect. Don't just say, "It's not working." Ask what exactly isn't working. Is it the timing, the structure, the tools you're using, the way you're preparing, the time of day you're taking action? Get precise. Vague reflection creates vague improvements, but clear questions lead to clear adjustment. For example, if you're trying to build a habit, but you keep missing it, don't just say, "I lack discipline." Ask, is this the best time of day for this task? Is the task too big? Do I have too many steps? Is my environment supporting it? This level of analysis turns failure into feedback, and feedback is the raw material of success. Another key to adjusting your actions is detaching from emotional reactions. When something doesn't work, your mind may go into frustration, self-criticism, or blame. That's normal, but that's not useful. What's useful is calm reflection. You have to train yourself to pause, breathe, and think clearly. Emotional overreaction clouds judgment. Strategic thinking requires clear sight, and clarity only comes when you look at results like a problem to solve, not a statement about your worth. You are not your outcome. You are the thinker behind the outcome. That means you always have the power to shift, to revise, to try again with a better strategy. One of the fastest ways to learn what works is to shorten the gap between action and reflection. Don't wait until the end of the month. Don't wait until everything falls apart. Reflect daily. After every important task, ask yourself, did this move me forward? What slowed me down? What can I do better next time? These short, consistent reviews compound over time. They give you a real-time understanding of your habits and behaviors, and the more you understand your patterns, the faster you can upgrade them. Most people think change takes years, but with honest daily reflection, change can start in days. It's also important to test new approaches. If your current routine is not giving you momentum, create a different version and try it for a week. If you're not getting traction with your current strategy, design an alternative and test it for 7 days. Then compare which one gave you more energy, which one created more progress. Treat your life like an experiment. Keep testing, keep refining, keep improving. There is no perfect plan. There is only a series of intelligent tests. People who grow fast are not smarter. They are just more willing to test and adjust. They don't get stuck in one way. They stay flexible. They stay curious. And don't only study your mistakes. Study your wins. When something works, figure out why. What did you do right? What conditions helped you succeed? What mindset were you in? This is just as important as fixing what's wrong. If you only focus on mistakes, you build a negative mindset. But when you also learn from your successes, you strengthen what's working. You build confidence based on facts. And you start to repeat the behaviors that create real results. Every day is full of lessons. If you pay attention, if you treat your life like a system, you'll start to see patterns. And when you understand those patterns, You gain power over your progress. The reason most people stay stuck is not because they're not trying, it's because they never stop to measure. They never check if their actions are actually working. They never pause to ask what needs to be changed, and without that feedback loop, they stay in the same cycle: effort, disappointment, frustration, and giving up. Break that cycle. Start observing. Start learning. Start adjusting. You are not stuck. You are just one change away from a better result. But you can't make that change if you don't know what's broken. So step back. Review the day. Track your behavior. Ask better questions. Try smarter strategies. And keep doing this until the results begin to shift. Sometimes the adjustment is small. A slight shift in your schedule, a shorter task list, a clearer reminder, a better system of accountability. These little tweaks may seem minor, but they can completely change your results. Don't underestimate the power of small correction. A plane that adjusts its course by just 1 degree ends up in a completely different place. The same is true with your life. One smarter move can unlock a breakthrough, but only if you're paying attention, only if you're willing to admit when something isn't working, only if you care more about progress than pride. Growth belongs to those who observe their life with honesty and change it with courage. You don't need more effort. You need more awareness. You don't need more motivation. You need more reflection. Every action you take is information. Every result you get is a message. Listen to it. Learn from it. Adjust based on it. This is how you get better, faster. This is how you make progress that lasts. Not by forcing your way through failure, but by studying your behavior like a strategist and making smarter moves every time. This is what separates those who stay stuck from those who rise. The ones who rise are not lucky. They're intentional. They're precise. And they are always adjusting. You can be that person. Start today. Study your actions. Adjust your approach. Repeat. And everything will begin to change. Chapter 5. Challenge your comfort zone and grow through daily discomfort. Most people stay exactly where they are in life because they avoid anything that makes them uncomfortable. They create routines that feel safe. They repeat habits that don't challenge them. They surround themselves with people who never push them. And they confuse comfort with peace. But comfort is not growth. It's not strength. It's not improvement. Comfort is just familiar, and the longer you stay in what's familiar, the harder it becomes to evolve. Growth is built through pressure. It's shaped through friction. It's earned through discomfort. If you want to rise above where you are right now, you must be willing to step into places that make you uneasy. Not once, not occasionally, but every day. Growth is not something you visit. It's a place you live in, and the rent you pay is discomfort. The mind is naturally built to protect you from pain. It will always choose what feels easier, what feels safer, what feels more certain. That's how it keeps you alive. But you are not trying to survive, you are trying to improve. And improvement means going against your instinct for safety. It means doing things that don't come naturally. Speaking when you'd rather stay silent. Starting when your mind wants to delay. Trying when you know failure is possible. Showing up when your energy is low. This is what separates those who change from those who repeat. The ones who grow are not fearless. They just stop making comfort the goal. They replace comfort with commitment. And they treat discomfort like training. Discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It's a signal that you are stepping into something new. Every time you do something difficult, your tolerance expands. Your inner resistance gets weaker, and your identity starts to shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone who needs to feel ready. You start seeing yourself as someone who acts anyway. That shift is powerful, because when you see yourself as capable of discomfort, you stop holding back. You stop shrinking from challenges. You stop waiting for perfect conditions, and you begin to trust your ability to handle pressure, not escape it. It's easy to talk about pushing your limits when life is calm, but the real work is in the moments that test you. When you're tired and don't want to continue, when the fear of judgment holds you back, when you face something you've never done before. That's when most people choose the path of ease. They tell themselves, "I'll try again tomorrow," or "This isn't for me." But every time you do that, you strengthen the voice of comfort, and that voice will slowly take control of your choices, until everything in your life is built around avoidance, avoiding pressure, avoiding feedback, avoiding action. And then you wonder why you're stuck. To break that cycle, you need to make discomfort a daily habit. Start small. Do one thing every day that stretches you, something that interrupts your routine, something that forces you to think differently, act more boldly, or feel a little uneasy. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to push against the edge of your habits. Over time, that edge moves. What once felt impossible becomes normal. What once made you anxious becomes routine. That's how progress feels. Not sudden, not glamorous, but slow, steady, and full of moments that feel uncomfortable, but meaningful. Daily discomfort could mean waking up earlier than usual. It could mean speaking up in a room where you usually stay quiet. It could mean asking for feedback when you fear what people will say. It could mean saying no when you're used to saying yes. It could mean trying something new when you're used to doing what's safe. These small decisions may seem unimportant, but they shape your mindset. They send a message to your brain. I do hard things. I don't run from pressure. I grow from it. And that message becomes your identity. Once your identity changes, everything else follows. The biggest trap is waiting for courage to arrive before you act. But courage is not something that comes before the action. It's something that builds during the action. You don't become brave by thinking about it. You become brave by showing up when it's hard, by doing things that make you feel exposed, by failing and coming back stronger. The longer you wait for the right moment, the more comfortable you become with hesitation. And hesitation will steal years from your life. The only way to get past it is to act before you feel ready. Action creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence, and confidence grows each time you walk into something uncomfortable and realize you survived it. There's a hidden strength inside you that only discomfort can reveal. You don't find it by avoiding pressure. You find it by leaning into it. Every person you admire, every leader, creator, builder, has learned to live in discomfort, not because they enjoy pain, but because they understand what it produces: strength, wisdom, clarity, discipline, the ability to stay calm under stress. These qualities are not built in comfort. They are built in moments where most people quit. And if you want to build them, you must be willing to meet yourself at your limits, and then go one step further. Sometimes the hardest discomfort is facing yourself, looking at your patterns, admitting where you've avoided growth, owning where you've been inconsistent. These are not easy things to do, but they are necessary. You can't grow through lies. You can only grow through truth, and truth is uncomfortable. But truth frees you. Once you stop pretending, you can begin changing. You can stop playing small and start living with intention. You can stop explaining your situation and start rebuilding your life. But it all begins with the willingness to sit with discomfort instead of running from it. Discomfort also teaches humility. It reminds you that you don't know everything, that you're not perfect, that you have room to improve, and that's a good thing. Arrogance lives in comfort. Growth lives in humility. The more you push yourself into hard situations, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you improve, and the more you improve, the more capable you become of building a life that reflects your true potential. Not your fears, not your excuses, but your potential. It's easy to think that successful people are just lucky or talented, but behind the scenes, they've spent years doing uncomfortable things that most people avoid. They've had hard conversations. They've taken difficult feedback. They've worked through long periods of self-doubt. They've failed publicly and kept going. None of that feels good in the moment, but it builds something permanent. Not just skills, but character. And character is what holds your life together when everything else gets tested. If you want to grow, make discomfort a goal, not an obstacle. Each day, ask yourself, what am I avoiding? And then go do that thing, not recklessly, but intentionally. Not to punish yourself, but to free yourself. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to stop hiding from the person you're meant to become. And the only way to reach that version of yourself is to walk through discomfort until it becomes normal, until growth becomes familiar, until the old version of you feels like a memory, not a limitation. This journey will not always feel good, but it will always be worth it, because every time you face discomfort and move through it, you earn something no one can give you, a deeper belief in yourself. That belief is what makes everything else possible. It is what makes you unshakable. It is what allows you to walk into any room, face any situation, and say, I can handle this. Not because it's easy, but because you've trained yourself to stay grounded in pressure. That's what real power looks like. Not pretending to be fearless, but acting with strength in the middle of fear. No matter where you are right now, there is a next level waiting. But you will not reach it by doing what's comfortable. You will reach it by doing what's necessary. So start today. Do one thing that stretches you. Then do it again tomorrow. Keep showing up in discomfort. Keep growing. Keep building. This is not about chasing pain. It's about chasing progress. And discomfort is the path that leads to every breakthrough you've been waiting for. Walk it every day, and watch yourself become someone even you didn't expect. Chapter 6. Strengthen your decision-making by learning from every mistake. Every mistake you make holds information. Most people ignore this. They blame others, avoid thinking about what happened, or pretend it wasn't that bad. They protect their ego instead of strengthening their mind. But if you want to become a sharper thinker, a better strategist, and a more powerful decision-maker, you must learn to treat every mistake as a teacher. You must face your choices directly, not with shame, but with curiosity. The more you understand the reason behind a wrong step, the easier it becomes to make better ones. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to grow, and growth only happens when you stop running from your errors and start studying them. Strong decisions are not built from luck or instinct. They're built from awareness, and awareness is built through reflection. When you make a mistake, the most useful thing you can do is slow down and examine it, not emotionally, but logically. What did I choose? What was I thinking at the time? What did I ignore? What was I afraid to face? What signs did I overlook? The faster you ask these questions after a mistake, the more clearly you'll see the gap between what you thought would happen and what actually did. That gap is not failure. That gap is feedback. And the more feedback you collect, the more skilled your decisions become. There is no such thing as a mistake that teaches you nothing. Every decision that goes wrong reveals something about your process, your mindset, your preparation, or your assumptions. When you ignore this, you repeat the mistake. When you study it, you break the cycle. This is how strong thinkers are made, not by guessing right, but by constantly reviewing their own thinking. The goal is not to avoid all wrong turns. That's impossible. The goal is to never make the same wrong turn twice. That's the real power of learning. It keeps your progress steady and your growth real. Most people treat mistakes as something to forget. They want to move on quickly, pretend it never happened, and hope things go better next time. But that's not how real progress works. You don't grow by hoping. You grow by reviewing. You must learn to pause, step back, and observe without emotion. Every mistake is a mirror. It shows you something about how you think, what you value, or what you missed. That kind of clarity is rare, and it's only available if you're honest enough to face the discomfort of being wrong. The reason many people don't improve is because they get stuck in shame. They take every bad decision personally. They say, "I'm so stupid," or "I always mess up." And that mindset blocks growth, because now the focus is not on what happened, it's on your identity. But you are not your decisions. You are the thinker behind the decisions, and that thinker can learn, adjust, and evolve. Shame doesn't improve judgment. Reflection does. You have to treat mistakes like data, not identity. Analyze them with the same calm energy you'd use to solve a puzzle. If something didn't work, great. Now you know. Now you can build a better path. When something goes wrong, don't just analyze the outcome. Analyze the moment the decision was made. What were you feeling? Were you rushed? Were you distracted? Were you influenced by someone else's opinion? Were you afraid of something? Most poor decisions are not about the situation. They're about your state of mind during the situation. If you learn to recognize the mental states that lead to bad choices, you can avoid them in the future. Maybe you don't think clearly when you're tired. Maybe you say yes too quickly when you feel pressure. Maybe you ignore red flags because you want things to go smoothly. All of this is valuable information, and once you know it, you can adjust your decision-making condition. You can also strengthen your judgment by learning from other people's mistakes. You don't have to experience every failure firsthand. Pay attention. Study people who have walked the road before you. Read biographies. Listen to interviews. Ask deeper questions. What caused their biggest mistakes? What were the signs they missed? What do they wish they had done differently? Wise people learn from experience, but the wisest people learn from both their own experience and the experience of others. The more you learn, the fewer surprises you face, because your thinking becomes sharper, your instincts become better trained, and your ability to predict consequences improves. A major step in improving decision-making is also learning to delay emotional reactions. Most bad decisions are made in a state of urgency, fear, anger, or excitement. These states cloud your judgment. They make the problem seem bigger or smaller than it is. They push you to act quickly instead of wisely. One of the most powerful habits you can build is the habit of pause. When you feel triggered to make a fast decision, stop. Breathe. Give yourself space. Think about the long-term effect. Ask yourself, what will I wish I had done 1 week from now? This kind of space creates clarity, and clarity leads to stronger decisions. You don't become a master of decision-making overnight. It's a lifelong process. It's built through mistakes, corrections, and constant upgrades. You'll still get things wrong sometimes. That's okay. But the more you engage with your mistakes, the more you reduce the damage of future ones. You get quicker at spotting warning signs. You develop rules for yourself, principles that protect you from impulsive moves. Over time, these rules become second nature. They guide you when pressure hits. They anchor you when things feel uncertain. This is what strategic thinking looks like. Not perfect thinking, Just practice thinking over and over, until wisdom becomes your habit. When you reflect on your mistakes, don't just focus on what went wrong. Ask yourself what you can improve for next time. If the mistake was caused by poor information, how can you gather better information next time? If it was caused by rushing, how can you build more patience into your process? If it was caused by ignoring your instincts, how can you trust yourself more? Every answer becomes a new layer of intelligence. Every improvement makes you harder to fool, stronger under stress, and more capable of making moves that count. Over time, this process turns you into someone others can trust. Someone who sees past short-term noise. Someone who doesn't panic when things go off track. Someone who doesn't make the same mistake twice. That reputation begins with how you treat your own missteps. You don't hide them, you face them, you learn from them, and you build forward with more insight, more confidence, and more strength than before. That's what real self-leadership looks like. That's what separates the reckless from the wise. You must also remind yourself that mistakes do not define your future unless you keep repeating them. The past only holds power when you refuse to learn from it. Every mistake you're willing to study becomes a stepping stone. Every wrong turn you take responsibility for becomes a lesson that no one can take from you. It's not about how many times you mess up. It's about how often you come back sharper, more alert, more strategic. This mindset makes you dangerous in the best way. It turns you into someone who grows faster than problems and thinks clearer than chaos. This is how strong decisions are built. Not by avoiding failure, but by confronting it. Not by pretending to know everything, but by being humble enough to admit when something didn't work, and smart enough to change direction. Every mistake contains wisdom, and that wisdom can't reach you unless you open the door to it. So the next time something goes wrong, don't collapse, don't complain, don't run. Pause, reflect, write it down. Ask better questions, adjust your approach, and move forward with greater precision. That's how progress is built. That's how powerful people are shaped. That's how you grow into the person who no longer guesses but knows. Chapter 7. Take full control of your time and energy today. Your life is being shaped by how you spend your time and energy each day, whether you realize it or not. These two things, time and energy, are your most valuable assets, and yet most people hand them away without intention. They say yes when they should say no. They check their phones before they check their priorities. They let distractions steal their focus. They give their attention to everything and everyone, leaving almost nothing for their goals, their health, or their personal growth. If you want to take control of your future, you must start by taking full control of your time and energy. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. You do not need more hours in the day. What you need is to stop wasting the hours you already have. Every minute you give to something meaningless is a minute you take away from something that matters. This is not about being busy. Anyone can stay busy. This is about being in command, waking up and knowing exactly what your time will be used for, choosing how your energy will be invested, acting with clarity, not reaction. Your life changes the moment you decide that you are no longer available for everything. Most people live on default settings. They go through their day reacting to what shows up: messages, notifications, requests, interruptions. They live as if their time belongs to the world. It doesn't. It belongs to you. And when you take ownership of your time, you take ownership of your direction. You move from being pulled by life to leading it. But you cannot lead anything until you lead yourself. So the first move is to become aware. Where is your time really going? Not where you hope it's going, where it's actually going. Track it honestly for one day. See what you give attention to. See how often you switch tasks. See how long you spend doing things that don't move you forward. This alone can be a wake-up call. Once you become aware, you must decide what matters enough to deserve your time, what deserves your full energy. You can't keep saying yes to everything. Every yes is a trade. When you say yes to something, you say no to something else. Say yes to a distraction, and you say no to progress. Say yes to people who drain you, and you say no to your own peace. Say yes to scrolling for hours, and you say no to learning, to building, to doing the real work. So if you want to rise, you must get serious about what you protect. Your time and energy are not unlimited. If you waste them, they're gone. But if you use them with intention, they can build you a life most people only dream about. Structure is freedom. Most people avoid planning because they think it will trap them. The truth is the opposite. A clear structure gives you power. It removes guesswork. It gives your day direction. You know what to do, when to do it, and why it matters. That removes stress. It builds momentum. But your structure must be simple. Complex plans die quickly. Start with the essentials. Block time for your top priorities. Create a small list of non-negotiables. Respect your energy levels. Do the hardest things when your mind is sharpest. Build in recovery, not just tasks. A strong structure does not exhaust you. It supports you. It protects you from noise. One of the hardest but most important skills is saying no. No to distractions. No to urgency that isn't yours. No to activities that look productive but aren't. No to people who don't value your time. You don't owe everyone access to your attention. Your future is more important than their expectations. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you make space for something that builds you. This takes courage at first, but it gets easier because you begin to see the benefits. You feel stronger, more focused, more aligned. You stop living on other people's terms. You start building your life on your terms. Energy is just as important as time. Without energy, time is wasted. So you must guard your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Pay attention to what drains you and what fuels you. Adjust accordingly. Limit your time with people who complain or gossip or bring chaos. Increase your time doing things that recharge you. Reading, reflecting, moving, creating. Rest is not laziness. It's preparation. If you don't recover, you won't have anything to give. You don't just need more hours. You need more presence in the hours you have. And presence comes from energy. Protect it at all costs. Every day, you make choices that either protect your energy or waste it. You decide whether to wake up with purpose or hit snooze 5 times. You decide whether to start your day with clarity or chaos. You decide whether to eat like your body matters or treat it like an afterthought. You decide whether to focus or scroll. You decide whether to move your body or sit still for hours. These are not small decisions. They shape your life. One day of poor energy habits won't ruin you, but hundreds of them will. The longer you delay control, the harder it becomes to take it back. So start today, 1 hour at a time, one decision at a time. Eliminate the noise. You don't need to keep checking every message. You don't need to respond immediately to every call. You don't need to be available all the time. Turn off notifications. Set boundaries. Choose blocks of time where you are unreachable. Let people wait. Let things slow down. The world will keep spinning. You will get more done in less time. You will think more clearly. You will remember what actually matters. You cannot live a deep, meaningful life while constantly reacting to shallow things. Clarity saves time. If you don't know what you want, you'll waste energy chasing everything. So define your top priorities. Not 10, not 5, 2 or 3. Give them your best. Everything else can wait. Everything else is noise. You are not here to be scattered. You are here to build something solid, something that reflects your values, something that lasts, that requires deep focus, that requires protecting your time from the world's demands, that requires walking away from things that look good but don't serve your future. There will always be distractions, always things trying to pull you off course. You can't stop that, but you can stop giving in. You can remind yourself that every minute has a purpose, that your attention is a currency, and you can decide every morning that you will not give it away to things that don't matter. Not today, not anymore. This is your responsibility. No one will protect your time for you. No one will create your schedule. No one will stop the noise. You must do that. You must lead yourself. You must look at the clock and ask, am I using this moment to move forward or to escape? If the answer is escape, you shift. Not tomorrow. Now. This is how you reclaim your life. This is how you build something powerful. Not through talent, not through luck, but through ownership. Ownership of your minutes. Ownership of your attention. Ownership of your habits. That's what separates those who drift from those who dominate. Time and energy. These are your tools. Use them carelessly, and they will vanish. Use them wisely, and they will transform your life. Every hour counts. Every choice matters. Make today the day you take full control, not halfway, fully. No more waiting. No more drifting. From this moment on, your time and energy are yours, and that changes everything. Chapter 8. Simplify your goals to stay consistent and clear. Most people don't fail because they lack ambition. They fail because their goals are too complicated. They try to chase too many things at once. They create long lists that overwhelm them, instead of focusing on a few simple actions they can do every day. When your goals are scattered, your attention becomes divided. And when your attention is divided, your results disappear. If you want to stay consistent, you have to simplify. If you want to build real progress, you have to remove what doesn't matter. Simplicity is not weakness. Simplicity is power. The more clear and focused your goals are, the easier it becomes to take action. The easier it becomes to stay committed, and the easier it becomes to actually finish what you start. Complicated goals create mental resistance. They feel heavy. They take energy just to think about. That mental pressure turns into procrastination. You put it off. You delay the start. Or you try for a few days and then stop because it feels too big. Simplicity solves this. When your goals are simple, they're easier to visualize. When they're easier to visualize, they're easier to begin. Starting becomes natural, not something you fight with. And once you begin, momentum starts to build. Success doesn't come from trying to do everything. It comes from doing the right things every day, even when they seem small. Your mind craves clarity. When you're vague, your brain doesn't know where to focus. You say things like, I want to be better, or I want to improve my life, but you haven't decided exactly what that means. Improvement in what? In what way? By when? How will you measure it? If your goal is blurry, your path will feel confusing. You'll second-guess yourself. You'll try 100 different tactics and stick to none. You'll feel like you're working hard, but nothing is moving. To stop that cycle, you must simplify your direction. Choose a few key targets, write them down in plain language, and make sure every part of your routine serves those few goals. One of the most powerful things you can do is choose one goal to focus on for the next 30 days. Just one. Not 10. Not 5. One. Give it your full energy. Align your schedule around it. Track your progress daily. Build habits that support it. Eliminate distractions that compete with it. This kind of intense simplicity trains your mind to stay with the process. It builds mental strength. It builds commitment. It shows you what's possible when your energy is not pulled in every direction. You can still have other goals, but you must know which one matters most right now. That's how clarity wins over confusion. Every time you add a new goal, you add a new layer of responsibility, a new demand on your time, a new shift in focus. That's not always bad, but if you're already struggling with consistency, adding more goals will only make it worse. The solution is not more effort. The solution is fewer distractions. Simplify your goals until they are so clear, they guide your decisions. If something doesn't help you move toward them, you ignore it. If a task doesn't serve your main priority, you delay it. This is how high performers stay consistent. They don't chase everything. They focus on what matters most. You must also simplify how you measure progress. Don't wait until the end of the year. Don't only look at outcomes. Create small markers of progress that you can track each day or each week. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I must do today that moves me forward? Do it. That's enough. When you stack enough of those days, results show up. But if you spend your energy measuring everything, you'll burn out. And if you don't measure anything, you'll lose your direction. The key is to simplify what you track. Make your process visible. Celebrate every small win. Every day you stay consistent is a step ahead of most people. Simplifying your goals also means removing the pressure of perfection. You don't need a flawless plan. You need a real one. A simple one you can follow even on your worst days. A simple routine you can stick to when you're tired or busy or unmotivated. That's how real progress is built. Not through intensity, but through sustainability. The more complex your system is, the more likely it breaks. Keep it clear, keep it light. You can always make it more advanced later. But first build consistency. Without that, nothing else matters. There is power in repetition. Doing the same simple actions over and over is what creates strength. What feels boring in the moment is what builds greatness over time. Most people want variety. They want to feel excited all the time. That mindset destroys consistency. You are not trying to entertain yourself. You are trying to transform yourself. And transformation comes from discipline, not drama. So don't get distracted by the urge to change your goals every week. Choose one path and stay on it. Long enough to see results. Long enough to grow. Long enough to prove to yourself that you can stay with something even when it stops feeling new. Another benefit of simplifying your goals is that it reduces stress. You don't feel the pressure to do 100 things. You don't feel behind all the time. You don't feel overwhelmed. Instead, you feel focused, in control, clear. This mental state gives you confidence, it gives you peace, and it gives you energy to go deeper in your work, your learning, your progress. When your mind is scattered, everything feels harder. When your mind is focused, even big goals feel possible. You must also learn to simplify your goals in conversations. Don't explain everything you're working on. Don't try to impress people with complexity. The more clear and simple your goals are, the easier it is for others to support you. You can say, I'm working on building this habit, or I'm focused on improving this one area of my life. That directness builds respect. It shows you're serious, and it helps you stay grounded in your process. You don't need validation. You need clarity. The more clear your goals are, the less approval you need, because you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. Simplification also protects your energy. Every goal takes effort. Every shift in focus requires recovery. The more goals you carry, the more energy you drain. But when you simplify, your energy becomes more powerful. You have more space to think, more space to plan, more space to improve. Life doesn't reward the person who does the most. It rewards the person who stays committed to what matters most. That's what simplifying your goals makes possible. If you feel overwhelmed, stop adding, start removing. If you feel lost, stop planning, start simplifying. If you feel stuck, stop chasing, start focusing. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I must move forward right now? Then give it your full attention. Let go of everything else. Let the noise fade. You don't need more ideas, you need more action. And action comes easiest when your goal is simple, clear and meaningful. Your goals don't need to be flashy. They don't need to impress anyone. They need to move you. They need to feel real. They need to be connected to your value. That's what gives you the strength to keep going. Not hype, not excitement, but purpose. And purpose is always clear. It never hides behind complexity. Simplify your goals so they fit into your real life. Not your ideal life, not your fantasy schedule, but your actual day-to-day. Build your systems around that. Create routines you can maintain. Stop chasing perfect conditions. Start building practical ones. That's where real growth begins. Not when everything goes right, but when you can keep showing up no matter what. Start now. Choose the one goal that matters most. Break it down into steps so simple you can't avoid them. Make it visible. Make it specific. Make it part of your daily rhythm. And most importantly, stay with it. Simplicity is not a weakness. Simplicity is your edge. The more you remove, the more you grow. The more focused your target, the stronger your aim. And the stronger your aim, the more unstoppable your progress becomes. Chapter 9. Track your habits and fix what holds you back. Your habits are shaping your life with or without your awareness. Every result you are getting, every situation you are stuck in, every feeling of progress or frustration, all of it is connected to the small actions you repeat every single day. If your habits are strong, your future becomes clear. If your habits are weak, your growth stays inconsistent. Most people say they want to improve, but they never take the time to measure what they're actually doing. They guess, they assume, they hope, but improvement does not come from guessing. It comes from tracking. It comes from paying attention to the patterns that define your outcomes. If you're not tracking, you're not serious. And if you're not serious, you will keep wondering why things don't change. Tracking your habits brings truth into your life. It shows you what's really happening. Not what you say, not what you plan, but what you do. It breaks through the illusions you've created in your mind. You might say, I eat healthy most of the time, or I usually stay focused. But once you track your actual behavior for a week, the facts speak for themselves. This isn't about guilt or shame, it's about clarity. You can't fix what you don't face, and you can't face what you won't see clearly. Tracking your habits creates a mirror, and that mirror shows you what needs to change. You don't need a perfect system, you just need something simple. Use a notebook, use an app, use a piece of paper. At the start of each day, write down the key habits you want to complete. Keep the list short. Don't overwhelm yourself with 20 tasks. Pick 3 to 5 essential habits that reflect the kind of person you want to become. These habits should not be random. They should connect to your values and your long-term vision. Then, every evening, take 60 seconds to review. Did I do them or not? That simple act of tracking keeps your brain focused. It creates accountability, and it gives you data you can use to improve. When you start tracking, patterns begin to emerge. You'll notice which habits are easy to stick to, and which ones you skip often. You'll notice which times of day support your progress, and which times lead to distraction. You'll notice which environments bring out your best, and which situations lead to excuses. All of this is gold. You don't need more motivation. You need more awareness. Once you know what's holding you back, you can make real adjustments. You can stop wasting energy on guesswork. You can start building a system that works for your real life, not your ideal fantasy. The goal is not perfection, it's consistency. You're not trying to be perfect every day. You're trying to become more reliable over time. If you complete your core habits 4 out of 7 days this week, that's progress. Next week, try for 5, then 6, then 7. But even if you never reach 7, the act of tracking keeps you engaged. It keeps you honest, and that honesty makes you stronger. You stop lying to yourself about your discipline. You stop pretending things are fine when they're not, and you start moving forward, one habit at a time. Some habits are harder to fix because they're built on deeper issues. Maybe you avoid your goals because you fear failure. Maybe you procrastinate because you're overwhelmed by perfectionism. Maybe you skip workouts because you associate exercise with punishment. Tracking your habits helps reveal those emotional patterns. When you notice a habit consistently gets ignored, don't just push harder. Ask why. Ask what story you're telling yourself. Ask what feeling you're avoiding. The surface habit is just the symptom. The real problem is deeper, and once you understand it, you can deal with it directly. You can rewrite the story. You can change the emotional connection. You can remove the resistance. Every habit is either helping you rise or holding you down. There's no neutral habit. You may think something is harmless, but if it distracts you from your purpose, it's a cost. If it drains your energy, it's a cost. If it keeps you from showing up fully, it's a cost. So don't ignore the small things. Track everything that matters. Track your sleep. Track your movement. Track your digital usage. Track your food. Track your moods. Track your self-talk. These are not restrictions. These are tools. They help you take back control of a life that may have drifted off course. And when you take control, you take back your future. People often ask how to stay consistent. The answer is to make the process visible. Most habits are broken in silence. You forget. You lose track. You drift. But when you have a habit tracker in front of you every day, you remember. You engage. You show up. The act of checking something off gives you a psychological win, and that win builds momentum. It builds identity. You stop saying, "I want to be disciplined." You start saying, "I am someone who follows through." That identity shift is what makes consistency sustainable. You must also give yourself space to adjust. If a habit is not working, change it. Don't give up, restructure it. Maybe the habit is too big. Break it down. Maybe the timing is wrong. Move it earlier or later in the day. Maybe the environment is filled with distractions. Create a better one. You're not failing if you adjust. You're learning, and learning is the foundation of long-term mastery. Track your habits, not just to measure success, but to understand how to adapt. Life will change. You will change. Your habits must evolve with you. If you want to accelerate your growth, review your habits weekly. Every Sunday or whatever day works for you, sit down and look at the past week. What did you follow through on? What did you ignore? What patterns are repeating? What do you need to improve? Use this review to reset, to refine, to realign. Your weekly review becomes your accountability partner. It becomes your progress checkpoint, and it helps you start the next week with intention instead of drifting. The best version of you is built from actions you repeat, not once, not occasionally, but daily. And those actions must be tracked, refined, and improved. If something holds you back, don't ignore it. Don't make excuses. Fix it. Start small. Change the input. Change the environment. Change the system. Over time, The compound effect takes over. A few small daily changes lead to major transformation. And the beauty of it is, it's all in your control. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to start paying attention. Your future is hiding inside your daily habits. And the habits that are hurting you will not disappear on their own. You have to expose them. You have to take them seriously, not with guilt, but with courage. Not with pressure, but with commitment. The strongest people are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who pay attention when they do. They study the failure, they learn the lesson. They fix what's broken, and they keep going. Track your habit, fix what slows you down. Build what lifts you up, and repeat, day after day, week after week. That's how you grow into the person who doesn't just talk about success, but lives it. One strong habit at a time. Chapter 10. Build mental toughness by finishing what you start, always. Finishing what you start is the cornerstone of mental toughness. It separates those who talk about change from those who actually create it. The ability to push through challenges and see tasks to the end builds a resilience that no setback can break. Mental toughness is not about being born with grit. It's about developing a habit of completion. Every time you finish what you begin, you build strength in your mind. You prove to yourself that you are reliable, capable, and disciplined. Over time, this habit becomes your foundation. It supports every other part of your life and work. Most people begin projects or goals with enthusiasm, but quit when things get difficult. The first sign of resistance becomes a reason to stop. They start new things often, but rarely complete them. This pattern creates frustration, low self-esteem, and a lack of progress. But you don't have to be that person. You can be the one who finishes. You can be the one who pushes through boredom, setbacks, and distractions. Finishing is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. The more you complete, the stronger your mental toughness grows. To build this toughness, you must commit to the finish line before you even start. When you begin a task, decide that no matter what, you will finish it. This commitment creates a new mindset. It shifts your focus from short-term feelings to long-term results. You acknowledge that discomfort is part of the process and promise yourself to keep going anyway. This promise keeps you grounded when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting, commitment is steady. The difference between those who finish and those who quit is this promise you make to yourself. Mental toughness grows with each small win. Finishing a single task, no matter how small, reinforces your ability to stay consistent. These wins build momentum. They become proof that you can endure. When you add them up, they create a powerful sense of confidence. This confidence makes it easier to face harder challenges. It gives you the courage to push through resistance. So start by finishing what you can today. Finish your morning routine. Finish a work assignment. Finish a conversation you started. Each completion is a brick in your mental fortress. You will face obstacles. You will encounter moments when quitting feels like the easiest option. This is normal. Mental toughness is not about never feeling doubt or fatigue. It's about acting despite those feelings. When you want to stop, remind yourself why you started. Remember your goals. Remember your values. Remember the person you want to become. This kind of reminder resets your focus. It pulls you back from giving up. You are stronger than your temporary feelings. Your future is built on the decisions you make right now. It's also important to break large projects into smaller steps. Finishing a massive goal can feel overwhelming. The distance to the end looks too far. But when you divide it into clear, manageable tasks, finishing becomes realistic. Completing each step fuels your motivation to keep going. It removes the fear of failure. You learn to celebrate progress, not perfection. This approach builds endurance. It teaches your mind that finishing is possible, one step at a time, and that knowledge becomes a weapon against procrastination. Distractions are the enemy of finish. When you scatter your attention, you weaken your ability to complete anything. Focus is a muscle that must be exercised. To build mental toughness, guard your focus fiercely. Create environments where distractions are minimized. Set specific times for work and rest. Use tools that help you stay on track. The more you protect your attention, the easier it becomes to follow through. Consistent focus leads to consistent finishes. And consistent finishes build a resilient mind. Self-doubt can sabotage your finishing habit. You might question your abilities or fear that the outcome won't be worth the effort. This mindset stops many before they even start. To overcome it, practice positive self-talk. Replace "I can't" with "I will try." Replace "this is too hard" with "this challenge helps me grow." Affirmations are not empty words, they shape your beliefs. When you believe you can finish, you put in the effort required. Your brain begins to expect completion as a natural result of your actions. Accountability strengthens mental toughness. When others expect you to finish, you are less likely to quit. Share your goals with people who support you. Ask them to check in on your progress. Join groups or communities with similar ambitions. External accountability creates pressure that pushes you forward. It reminds you that your commitment matters beyond yourself, and that external pressure combined with internal commitment forms an unbreakable will to finish. Rest and recovery are part of finishing. Mental toughness does not mean pushing yourself to the brink of burnout. It means managing your energy wisely. When you feel drained, take a short break. Rest refreshes your mind and body. It prepares you to return stronger. People who finish what they start know when to push and when to pause. They respect their limits, but don't let limits control them. This balance is key to sustaining long-term effort. Without it, exhaustion leads to giving up. Reflection after finishing a task builds mental strength. Take time to review what went well and what could improve. Celebrate your success. Acknowledge your effort. Learn from any mistakes. This process reinforces your growth mindset. It teaches you that finishing is not just about the result, but about the journey. Each finish line is a lesson that shapes your future action. The habit of reflection makes your commitment to finishing smarter and stronger. Mental toughness built through finishing what you start spills over into every area of life. It improves your relationships because you follow through on promises. It advances your career because you complete projects reliably. It enhances your personal growth because you develop discipline. This strength becomes part of your identity. You see yourself as someone who does not quit. You see challenges as opportunities to prove your resilience. This identity fuels further growth and success. Remember that every finish is a step closer to your highest potential. Even if the result isn't perfect, finishing builds your capability to try again with more experience. Abandoning a task leaves you stuck and fragmented. Finishing creates momentum and wholeness. It builds trust in yourself and your abilities. This trust becomes the foundation of your mental toughness. It allows you to face future challenges with confidence and persistence. Start today by choosing something you've left unfinished and commit to completing it. Focus all your attention on this single goal until it's done. Ignore distractions and excuses. When resistance comes, push through it by remembering your purpose. Celebrate the moment you finish. Feel the power of completion. This moment is proof that you can do it, and the more you do it, the tougher your mind becomes. Finishing what you start is a habit you build through action, commitment, and mindset. It is not easy, but it is essential. It defines the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. It creates mental toughness that no challenge can break. It turns your plans into reality. It shapes your character, and ultimately, it leads you to win big in life. Keep finishing. Keep growing. Keep proving to yourself that you can see things through no matter what. This is how you become unstoppable. Chapter 11. Question your beliefs and choose what makes you stronger. Every person holds beliefs about themselves and the world that shape their reality. These beliefs often operate below conscious awareness, but guide your decisions, actions, and how you handle challenges. Some beliefs empower you and push you forward. Others limit you and hold you back. Questioning your beliefs is the essential step toward mental clarity and strength. You cannot grow without examining the foundation of what you think is true. Beliefs are not facts, they are mental habits, and just like any habit, you have the power to change them. Many limiting beliefs are formed in childhood or through repeated experiences that created fear or doubt. You might believe you're not smart enough, not worthy of success, or that failure defines you. These beliefs silently shape your choices and limit your potential. If you never question these beliefs, they become self-fulfilling prophecies. They dictate your behavior without your permission. That's why it's vital to shine a light on these internal stories. When you identify which beliefs serve you and which harm you, you gain the power to choose. You don't have to accept everything you've been told or thought. Start by observing your internal dialogue. Pay attention to recurring thoughts and feelings, especially when you face challenges. Notice what you say to yourself when things don't go as planned. Do you think I can't do this, or I'm not enough? Those are beliefs speaking. Ask yourself, is this belief helping me grow or holding me back? If it doesn't support your progress, it's time to question it. Be curious rather than judgmental. Challenge the origin of the belief. Ask, where did this come from? And is it really true today? Often, you'll find that many beliefs are outdated or based on incomplete information. Replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones requires deliberate effort. You cannot simply wish them away. You must actively create new mental habits. Choose beliefs that make you stronger and repeat them until they become your new default. For example, swap "I always fail" with "failure is a step toward success." Replace "I am not worthy" with "I deserve happiness and growth." These affirmations are more than empty words. They rewire your brain over time. When you consciously decide to believe in your strength, resilience, and potential, you begin to act differently. Your mindset shifts from victimhood to ownership. Choosing stronger beliefs also means deciding what stories you tell yourself about obstacles. Instead of seeing difficulties as proof of your limitations, view them as opportunities to learn and improve. This shift empowers you to stay calm and focused under pressure. It reduces anxiety and builds confidence. Beliefs shape your emotional reaction. By choosing beliefs that support resilience, you change how you respond to setbacks. You stop seeing problems as threats and start seeing them as challenges you can overcome. It's important to remember that questioning beliefs is not a one-time event. Your mind will default to old patterns, especially under stress. That's why ongoing awareness is crucial. Develop the habit of checking in with yourself regularly. Notice when negative beliefs creep back in. Catch yourself early and challenge those thoughts again. Over time, this practice strengthens your mental discipline. It creates a flexible and resilient mind that adapts instead of collapsing. Surround yourself with influences that reinforce your chosen beliefs. The people you spend time with, the books you read, and the media you consume all impact your mindset. Choose environments that inspire growth and positivity. Avoid those that reinforce doubt and negativity. You don't have to cut everyone out, but you do need to protect your mental space. When your surroundings align with your stronger beliefs, it becomes easier to maintain them. You can also use journaling as a tool to question and reshape your beliefs. Write down a limiting belief, then write down evidence that contradicts it. Follow with a new, empowering belief you want to adopt. Reflect on how your life would change if you fully embraced this new belief. Journaling makes the process concrete. It clarifies your thinking and deepens your commitment to change. The more you engage with your beliefs consciously, the faster they evolve. Be patient with yourself. Changing beliefs is a gradual process. You will experience resistance because your old beliefs are familiar and comfortable, even when they harm you. Your brain resists change to protect you from the unknown. This discomfort is a sign that you're growing. Embrace it as part of your journey. Celebrate small victories when you catch negative beliefs and replace them with stronger ones. Every small shift makes your mental foundation firmer. The strength of your beliefs affects every area of your life. It determines how you pursue goals, manage relationships, and handle stress. Strong, empowering beliefs create a foundation of confidence and motivation. Weak, limiting beliefs create confusion and self-sabotage. When you choose beliefs that make you stronger, you set yourself up for lasting success and well-being. Remember that beliefs influence behavior. If you believe you are capable, you will act with courage. If you believe you are resilient, you will persist through challenges. If you believe you deserve good things, you will pursue opportunities boldly. Your beliefs are the engine behind your actions. Fuel them wisely. Questioning your beliefs also opens the door to humility and curiosity. It encourages you to stay open-minded and willing to learn. Mental strength is not about stubbornness or rigidity. It's about flexibility and adaptability. Being willing to revise your beliefs based on new evidence or experiences makes you wiser and more capable. This mindset frees you from the traps of dogma and negativity. To grow stronger beliefs, take small daily steps. Affirm your chosen beliefs each morning. Challenge negative thoughts throughout the day. Reflect on your progress each evening. Build these habits consistently. They become the armor that shields you from doubt and fear. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to choose strength over weakness. Your beliefs are your personal philosophy. They shape your story and influence your future. By questioning them and choosing what empowers you, you take control of your life at the deepest level. This act transforms your mindset from passive to active, from limited to limitless. It creates a powerful foundation for every challenge you face. It sets you on the path to win big in life through thoughtful, strategic thinking. Start today by writing down one belief that holds you back. Examine it honestly. Find evidence that disproves it. Choose a stronger belief to replace it. Repeat this process with other beliefs. With time and dedication, your mind will become a source of strength, clarity, and unstoppable resilience. This is how you outsmart challenges and win big in life. Chapter 12. Learn from successful people and copy what actually works. Successful people are not lucky. They reach their goals because they follow proven strategies and habits that work consistently. Instead of reinventing the wheel, they observe what others have done and apply those lessons in their own lives. Learning from success means studying real results, not just theory or opinions. It means paying attention to the actions, mindsets, and routines that create lasting achievement. When you copy what actually works, you shortcut your path to success and avoid common mistakes. This approach is practical, efficient, and grounded in reality. Many people try to figure everything out on their own. They spend years experimenting, failing, and repeating errors unnecessarily. This slows down progress and drains motivation. You don't have to make that choice. You can choose to learn from people who have already succeeded. Seek out mentors, role models, and examples in your field or area of interest. Study their journeys closely. Notice the patterns in their decisions and behaviors. What habits do they prioritize? How do they handle setbacks? What mindset drives their persistence? By answering these questions, you gain a blueprint for your own growth. Imitation is a powerful learning tool. When you mimic the successful habits of others, you reprogram your brain for success. For example, if a successful person wakes up early, exercises daily, and reads regularly, try adopting those habits yourself. See how they affect your energy, focus, and mindset. It's not about copying blindly, but adapting what fits your life and goals. The key is to be deliberate and consistent. Success doesn't come from occasional effort, it comes from repeated action aligned with proven practices. Another benefit of learning from successful people is that it saves you from reinventing mistakes. Every path to success includes obstacles and failures, but those who came before you have already faced many of these challenges. By studying their experiences, you can anticipate difficulties and prepare accordingly. This foresight helps you avoid costly errors and wasted time. It also boosts your confidence because you know you're following a tested route. Confidence fuels action, and action creates results. Reading biographies, watching interviews, and listening to podcasts are great ways to absorb lessons from successful people. Pay attention not only to their achievements, but to their failures and how they recovered. Resilience is a common trait among winners. They don't let setbacks stop them. Instead, they learn and adapt. Incorporate this mindset by viewing your own failures as valuable feedback. When you copy their mental toughness, you increase your ability to overcome obstacles and keep moving forward. Learning from others also requires humility. You must be willing to set aside your ego and admit that you don't have all the answers. This openness allows you to receive guidance and constructive criticism. It helps you remain teachable and flexible. People who resist learning tend to stagnate because they believe they know enough. But growth demands constant learning and adaptation. When you adopt a beginner's mindset, every person you meet and every experience becomes a potential lesson. Successful people often surround themselves with a community that supports their growth. This network provides encouragement, accountability, and inspiration. Copying this strategy means building your own circle of positive influences. Join groups, attend events, and connect with like-minded individuals. Share your goals and progress openly. This environment fuels motivation and keeps you on track. When you see others working hard and succeeding, it challenges you to raise your own standards. Another practical step is to analyze the daily routines of successful individuals. Many have structured schedules that maximize productivity and minimize distractions. For example, they may block specific times for focused work, rest, and learning. They prioritize high-impact activities and delegate or eliminate low-value tasks. Adopting similar routines can dramatically improve your efficiency. Experiment with time management techniques like time blocking or the Pomodoro method. Notice how small changes in your schedule can lead to better focus and output. Adapting the communication skills of successful people is also essential. They listen more than they speak. They build strong relationships through empathy and respect. They express ideas clearly and confidently. These skills open doors and create opportunities. By observing how successful people interact, you can improve your own social influence. Practice active listening in conversations. Ask thoughtful questions. Pay attention to body language and tone. These subtle changes can enhance your personal and professional connections. Learning from successful people also involves adopting their problem-solving approaches. They tackle challenges with curiosity and persistence. They break problems into smaller parts and seek practical solutions. This method prevents overwhelm and encourages steady progress. Try applying this mindset when faced with difficulties. Instead of avoiding problems, confront them methodically. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to move forward? This focus turns obstacles into manageable tasks rather than insurmountable barriers. Success leaves clues in how people handle their mindset daily. Many successful individuals practice gratitude, visualization, and positive self-talk. They guard their mental energy by avoiding negativity and distractions. They maintain a growth mindset that welcomes challenges as opportunities. Copying these mental habits strengthens your resilience and focus. Start by incorporating simple practices like daily gratitude journaling or morning affirmations. These build mental clarity and optimism, which fuel your long-term success. While copying successful habits is valuable, it's important to personalize them. Not every approach fits everyone perfectly. Adjust routines and mindsets to your personality, strengths, and circumstances. This customization makes your progress sustainable. For example, if a mentor wakes up at 5 a.m. but you perform better starting at 7 a.m., shift your schedule accordingly. The core principle is to adopt what works, not blindly imitate. This balance between learning and adaptation creates a unique strategy tailored to you. Feedback is another critical component in learning from success. Successful people seek honest feedback and use it to improve. They don't take criticism personally, but see it as a gift. Developing this attitude accelerates growth. You can copy this by inviting feedback from trusted mentors, peers, or coaches. Use their insights to refine your skills and strategies. Constructive feedback helps you avoid blind spots and enhances your decision-making. Modeling successful people also includes their commitment to continuous learning. They read books, attend seminars, and stay curious about new ideas. This lifelong learning keeps them sharp and adaptable. Emulate this habit by dedicating time to learning every day. Read articles, listen to educational podcasts, or watch tutorials related to your goals. Staying informed and curious expands your perspective and keeps you competitive. Finally, learning from successful people is not about envy or comparison. It's about inspiration and action. Their achievements show what's possible with the right mindset and effort. Use their stories to fuel your motivation, not to feel inadequate. Celebrate your unique journey and progress. Remember that success is personal and multifaceted. Your path will look different, but the principles remain the same. Start today by identifying one successful person you admire. Study their habits, mindset, and routines. Pick one or two strategies that resonate with you. Implement them consistently for at least 30 days. Observe how these changes affect your performance and mindset. Adjust as needed. This process of learning and copying what works will create momentum that propels you forward. Success is not a mystery. It is a formula discovered through action and learning. By following proven examples and adapting them to your life, you accelerate your growth and outsmart challenges. Copy what actually works and watch how your life transforms. This practical approach grounds your ambition in reality and leads you to win big in life. Chapter 13. Use problems as feedback and grow through every struggle. Problems are not obstacles meant to stop you, but valuable feedback meant to teach you how to improve. Every struggle you face contains clues about what needs adjustment. Instead of avoiding difficulties or blaming circumstances, the strongest people learn to use problems as stepping stones for growth. When you change your perspective and see problems as signals rather than threats, you open yourself up to continuous improvement. This mindset shifts your focus from frustration to curiosity, from defeat to learning. Growth through struggle requires active reflection. When a problem arises, don't just react emotionally or try to escape it. Take a moment to analyze what happened and why. Ask yourself what this challenge is trying to teach you. What could you have done differently? What external factors contributed? This process turns problems into lessons instead of failures. It empowers you to respond with thoughtful solutions rather than impulsive reactions. Reflection creates space for new insights and better choices moving forward. Problems also reveal hidden weaknesses and blind spots. They expose gaps in your knowledge, skills, or habits that you might not be aware of. Instead of ignoring these signals, lean into them. Use them to identify areas for development. Growth happens when you address weaknesses head-on, rather than pretending they don't exist. This approach requires honesty and courage. You must be willing to admit mistakes and change your approach. This self-awareness is the foundation of resilience. Struggling can build character if you embrace it properly. Every time you face a problem and choose to learn from it, you strengthen your mental and emotional muscles. You build patience, persistence, and adaptability. These qualities are essential for success because life will always present new challenges. Your ability to grow through struggle determines how far you go. People who avoid difficulties or give up quickly never develop the depth of strength required to win big in life. Using problems as feedback also means experimenting with solutions. When one approach doesn't work, try another. Don't get stuck in frustration or defeat. View each attempt as data gathering. Each failure narrows down what doesn't work and guides you closer to what does. This trial and error mindset keeps you moving forward instead of paralyzed by fear of failure. It encourages creativity and flexibility. The willingness to try new strategies is a hallmark of successful people. Avoid taking problems personally. Challenges are part of the process, not reflections of your worth or ability. When you detach your identity from the struggle, it becomes easier to stay objective and focused on solutions. This detachment reduces anxiety and self-doubt. It helps you maintain a positive attitude even in difficult times. Remember that everyone faces problems. What sets winners apart is their response, not the presence of struggle itself. Building a habit of learning from problems also requires patience. Growth is rarely instant. Sometimes you must endure discomfort and setbacks before seeing progress. Trust the process. Know that every difficulty you overcome adds to your strength and wisdom. Keep a long-term perspective. When you commit to growth through struggle, you develop a mindset that thrives in uncertainty and challenge. This mindset transforms problems from obstacles into opportunities. Surround yourself with people who support your growth through challenges. Seek mentors, peers, or friends who view struggles as learning moments. Share your difficulties and listen to their advice. Their perspective can reveal solutions you might have missed. A supportive community also provides encouragement when you feel overwhelmed. Knowing you're not alone makes it easier to keep going. Collaboration turns problems into shared experiences that foster growth. Document your struggles and what you learn from them. Writing down challenges and your responses helps you process emotions and ideas more clearly. It also creates a record of your progress over time. When you review past difficulties, you see how much you've grown. This reflection boosts confidence and motivation. It reminds you that you have overcome problems before and can do it again. Documentation is a powerful tool for turning struggle into success. Avoid falling into the trap of negative self-talk when facing problems. Thoughts like, "I can't do this" or "this is too hard" only increase stress and lower your effectiveness. Instead, replace negative thoughts with constructive questions like, "What can I learn here?" or "How can I improve?" This simple shift in language changes your brain's response to difficulty. It encourages problem-solving and resilience rather than defeat. Using problems as feedback also means celebrating small wins during struggle. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Recognize your effort to face challenges even if the results aren't perfect yet. This celebration fuels motivation and keeps your energy positive. It reminds you that growth is a journey with ups and downs, not a destination. Acknowledging progress builds momentum that carries you through tough times. Remember that not all problems are within your control. Some challenges come from external forces beyond your influence. In these cases, your power lies in how you respond. Focus your energy on what you can change, not what you can't. This focus prevents feelings of helplessness and frustration. It keeps you proactive and solution-oriented. Accepting this reality is a sign of maturity and mental strength. As you grow through struggle, you develop a deeper understanding of yourself. You learn your limits, values, and true priorities. This self-knowledge guides better decisions and sharper focus. Challenges clarify what matters most, allowing you to invest your time and energy wisely. Struggle becomes not just a test, but a teacher that refines your purpose and character. When problems arise, take control by choosing to learn rather than resist. Use each challenge as a feedback loop for growth and improvement. This proactive approach turns obstacles into advantages. It transforms you into a strategic thinker who can outsmart any challenge. This ability to grow through every struggle is a key to winning big in life. Start today by reframing a current problem as feedback. Ask yourself what lesson it holds and how you can use it to improve. Commit to approaching future difficulties with curiosity and determination. Build the habit of learning from struggle. Over time, this mindset becomes your greatest asset. It makes you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for whatever comes next. This is the power of using problems as feedback to grow and succeed. Chapter 14. Protect your peace by walking away from useless drama. In life, your peace of mind is one of the most valuable assets you have. Protecting it requires clear boundaries and a conscious choice to avoid unnecessary drama. Drama can come in many forms: arguments, gossip, conflict, or toxic relationships that drain your energy and cloud your focus. Choosing to walk away from these situations is not a sign of weakness or avoidance, but a powerful act of self-respect and strategic thinking. When you protect your peace, you create the mental space needed to focus on what truly matters and to grow steadily toward your goals. Drama is often fueled by emotions running high, misunderstandings, and ego clashes. It can quickly escalate and pull you into chaos that adds no value to your life. Staying involved in drama consumes your time, wastes your mental resources, and distracts you from your priorities. You might feel compelled to engage because of loyalty, fear of confrontation, or social pressure. But every moment spent in drama is a moment stolen from your personal growth and happiness. The first step to protecting your peace is recognizing when a situation is purely dramatic and not worth your involvement. Walking away from drama means choosing silence and distance over reaction and participation. It requires discipline and self-control to not respond impulsively to provocation or conflict. When you refuse to feed the drama, it loses power. You show others that your peace is non-negotiable. This stance shifts the dynamics in your relationships and social circles. People learn to respect your boundaries or your absence. By removing yourself from the noise, you reclaim control of your emotional state and focus. Setting boundaries is essential in protecting your peace. Boundaries are clear limits you define about what behavior you accept from others and how you expect to be treated. Communicate these boundaries calmly and firmly. For example, you might decide not to engage in gossip, refuse to tolerate disrespect, or avoid certain people who consistently create conflict. Boundaries keep toxic influences at bay and reinforce your commitment to your well-being. They act as filters that prevent unnecessary drama from entering your life. Walking away also involves choosing your battles wisely. Not every disagreement or criticism requires your energy or response. Some conflicts are petty or irrelevant to your goals. By evaluating what deserves your attention, you conserve your strength for issues that truly matter. This selective engagement is a strategic skill that prevents burnout and frustration. It helps you stay calm and focused, rather than reacting emotionally to every challenge. Developing emotional intelligence is key to navigating drama effectively. When you understand your triggers and learn to manage your reactions, you avoid getting pulled into chaos. Emotional intelligence helps you respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. It creates space between stimulus and response. This space allows you to choose peace over conflict. Practice mindfulness and self-awareness to recognize when drama is starting and decide how to act intentionally. Walking away from drama does not mean ignoring problems or pretending they don't exist. It means addressing issues with maturity and clarity, not with emotional turmoil. When you confront problems calmly and constructively, you reduce the chance of drama escalating. Effective communication involves listening, expressing your feelings without blame, and seeking solutions rather than winning arguments. This approach preserves relationships and protects your peace. Social media often amplifies drama. Online platforms can become arenas for conflict, negativity, and misinformation. Protect your peace by limiting your exposure to toxic content and interactions. Unfollow or mute accounts that trigger stress or anger. Use social media consciously and purposefully rather than letting it consume your attention. Creating a digital boundary is as important as setting boundaries in real life. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. Positive relationships create a buffer against drama. When you are around individuals who respect your peace and encourage growth, you feel safe to be yourself. These relationships provide encouragement and constructive feedback instead of conflict and chaos. Invest your time and energy in connections that add value and reduce stress. Walking away from drama also means taking responsibility for your own peace. You cannot control other people's actions or attitudes, but you control how you respond. You decide what thoughts and emotions you entertain. Practice letting go of resentment, grudges, and the need to be right. Holding on to these only prolongs your involvement in drama. Forgiveness and acceptance free your mind and heart. They open the door to peace and healing. Self-care is a vital part of protecting your peace. When you prioritize your physical, mental, and emotional health, you build resilience against drama. Regular rest, exercise, healthy nutrition, and relaxation practices strengthen your ability to remain calm under pressure. Self-care replenishes your energy so you can face challenges without becoming overwhelmed. It signals to yourself and others that you value your well-being. Learn to recognize early warning signs of drama. These might include rising tension in conversations, feeling drained after interactions, or noticing repeated patterns of conflict. When you detect these signs, act quickly to remove yourself or change the subject. Don't wait until you are caught in the middle of chaos. Early intervention protects your peace and prevents escalation. Remember that walking away is a form of courage. It takes strength to choose peace over confrontation, especially when others expect you to engage. This choice empowers you to remain grounded and focused on your purpose. It sends a clear message that you will not be manipulated or distracted by trivial conflicts. Your commitment to peace becomes a foundation for strategic thinking and success. Protecting your peace is a daily practice. It requires vigilance, self-awareness, and clear decision-making. Each time you choose to walk away from useless drama, you reinforce this habit. Over time it becomes second nature. Your life becomes calmer, clearer, and more focused. You conserve energy for what truly matters and build mental strength that supports your growth. Start today by identifying one source of drama in your life. Reflect on how it affects your peace and productivity. Commit to walking away or setting a firm boundary with this source. Practice this choice consistently. Notice how it changes your mood, focus, and relationship. This simple action is a powerful step toward mastering strategic thinking and winning big in life. Walking away from useless drama is not about avoidance, but about prioritization. It is about protecting your inner calm and creating space for progress. It is a powerful strategy that strengthens your resilience and sharpens your focus. When you protect your peace, you create a solid foundation for all your goals and challenges. This foundation supports your journey to outsmart obstacles and win big every day. Chapter 15. Set clear boundaries that protect your values every day. Setting clear boundaries is essential for living a life aligned with your core values and maintaining your personal integrity. Without boundaries, it's easy to become overwhelmed, lose focus and feel drained by others' demands or expectations. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define what you will accept and what you won't tolerate. They act as a form of self-respect and protection that helps you stay true to your principles every single day. When you establish firm boundaries, you safeguard your energy and create a foundation for meaningful growth. First, you must understand your values deeply before setting boundaries. Values are the guiding principles that define who you are and what matters most to you. These could include honesty, respect, kindness, freedom, or responsibility. When you know your values clearly, it becomes easier to recognize situations that violate them. For example, if respect is a core value, you won't accept disrespectful behavior from others. Knowing your values empowers you to say no to things that don't align, even if it means disappointing people or facing conflict. This clarity strengthens your sense of self and keeps you grounded. Boundaries begin with awareness of your limits. You need to observe when you feel uncomfortable, stressed, or resentful in your interactions or daily life. These feelings are signals that your boundaries are being crossed or ignored. Pay attention to these emotions without judgment. Use them as guides to identify what you need to protect. Setting boundaries is not about being rigid or harsh, but about honoring your well-being and values. It's a compassionate act toward yourself that allows you to show up fully in life. Communication is the key to effective boundaries. Once you identify your limits, you must express them clearly and assertively. This means stating your needs without apologizing or over-explaining. Use simple and direct language to communicate what is acceptable and what is. For instance, you might say, "I need time to focus on my work and cannot take calls during these hours," or "I will not engage in conversations that involve gossip." Clear communication prevents misunderstandings and sets expectations for others. It also demonstrates your commitment to protecting your values. It's natural to face resistance when you start setting boundaries, especially from people who are used to you being available or accommodating. Some may react with confusion, frustration, or even anger. This reaction is often a reflection of their own discomfort with change, not a judgment of your boundaries. Stand firm and remind yourself why you are doing this. Boundaries are necessary for your growth and peace. Over time, others will respect your limits or choose to distance themselves if they cannot accept them. This process filters your relationships and builds a healthier support system. Consistency is crucial for maintaining boundaries. It's not enough to set them once and hope they stick. You must reinforce your limits regularly and follow through with consequences if they are crossed. Consequences do not have to be harsh, but should be clear and appropriate. For example, if someone repeatedly disrespects your time, you might reduce your availability or limit interaction. Consistency shows that your boundaries are serious and non-negotiable. It builds trust in yourself and signals to others that you value your well-being. Setting boundaries also involves protecting your mental and emotional space. This means being selective about what information, opinions, and influences you allow into your mind. You have the right to say no to negativity, criticism, or pressure that conflicts with your values. Protecting your inner world is as important as protecting your external time and energy. Practice mindfulness to become aware of mental clutter and intentionally choose thoughts and inputs that support your growth. Boundaries help you manage your commitments effectively. Saying yes to everything often leads to burnout and loss of focus on what truly matters. By setting boundaries around your time and energy, you can prioritize activities that align with your goals and values. This prioritization increases your productivity and satisfaction. Learn to evaluate requests and invitations carefully. It's okay to decline politely when something does not fit your priorities or values. Saying no is a powerful tool for maintaining balance and integrity. Respecting others' boundaries is equally important. Healthy relationships require mutual understanding and respect. When you honor others' limits, you build trust and deepen connections. This respect creates a positive cycle where your boundaries are more likely to be honored in return. Practice empathy and open communication to negotiate boundaries in relationships. This approach fosters cooperation and reduces conflict. Self-awareness is the foundation of boundary setting. Regularly reflect on your feelings, reactions, and experiences. Ask yourself if you feel respected, energized, and aligned with your values. When you notice discomfort or resentment, investigate if your boundaries need adjustment or reinforcement. This ongoing process keeps your boundaries relevant and effective as your life and relationships evolve. Remember that boundaries are acts of love toward yourself and others. They prevent resentment and burnout, allowing you to give your best in every area of life. Boundaries create clarity and safety, enabling you to focus on growth rather than drama or distraction. They are essential tools for anyone committed to living intentionally and winning big in life. Begin today by identifying one area where your boundaries are weak or unclear. Reflect on how this affects your peace and progress. Decide what limit you need to set and how you will communicate it. Take small, consistent steps to reinforce this boundary. Notice the changes in your energy and focus as you protect your values more intentionally. Setting clear boundaries is a daily practice that requires courage and commitment. It transforms how you interact with the world and how the world interacts with you. By protecting your values through boundaries, you build a life of integrity, focus, and fulfillment. This foundation empowers you to outsmart challenges and win big consistently. Chapter 16. Keep your emotions steady and act with calm control. Maintaining steady emotions while acting with calm control is one of the most important skills for strategic thinking and success. Life presents challenges and unexpected situations that can easily trigger emotional reactions. If you allow your feelings to take over, you risk making impulsive decisions that work against your best interests. The ability to stay calm and balanced under pressure gives you a clear mind to assess situations accurately and choose the best course of action. This skill separates those who succeed from those who get stuck in frustration or stress. Controlling your emotions starts with awareness. You need to recognize your feelings as they arise without immediately reacting to them. Notice physical signs like increased heart rate, tension, or rapid breathing. Pay attention to mental signs such as racing thoughts or negative self-talk. When you become aware of your emotional state, you create a pause between stimulus and response. This pause gives you the power to decide how to act rather than reacting automatically. Developing this habit requires practice, but quickly becomes a natural part of your thinking process. One of the most effective ways to maintain calm control is through conscious breathing. Deep and slow breaths activate the body's relaxation response, reducing stress and clearing the mind. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or triggered, pause and focus on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold briefly, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Repeat this a few times until you feel more centered. This simple technique helps regulate emotions and prevents reactive behaviors. It is a tool you can use anytime, anywhere. Another key element is managing your inner dialogue. The thoughts you tell yourself have a powerful impact on your emotional state. Negative or catastrophic thinking amplifies anxiety and anger. Instead, practice speaking to yourself with calm and constructive language. Replace thoughts like "this is unbearable" with "I can handle this situation." Use affirmations that remind you of your strength and ability to stay composed. Over time, positive self-talk builds emotional resilience and steady control. Learning to detach from the situation emotionally also helps maintain calmness. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings, but stepping back and observing them objectively. Imagine you are watching the event from a distance without being personally involved. This mental separation reduces the intensity of emotions and allows you to analyze the situation clearly. Detachment helps you avoid being overwhelmed and keeps your focus on solutions instead of problems. Preparation plays a vital role in emotional control. When you anticipate potential challenges and plan your response, you reduce surprises that cause emotional spikes. Strategic thinking includes preparing mentally and emotionally for difficult situations. Visualize how you will respond calmly and effectively before they happen. This mental rehearsal creates confidence and lowers emotional reactivity. Being prepared helps you stay grounded when the moment arrives. Accepting that you cannot control everything is also important for emotional steadiness. Some events and people will act unpredictably. Trying to control external circumstances only leads to frustration and stress. Instead, focus on controlling your reactions. This shift in mindset empowers you to maintain calm regardless of external chaos. It builds inner strength and peace. Practicing mindfulness daily enhances your ability to keep emotions steady. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment without judgment. It trains your mind to notice thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. Regular mindfulness exercises improve emotional regulation, reduce stress, and increase clarity. Simple practices like paying attention to your breath or observing your surroundings cultivate calm control that carries into all areas of life. Developing patience supports emotional stability. Many emotional reactions stem from impatience or frustration with how quickly things happen. Patience teaches you to accept delays, setbacks, or slow progress without anger or anxiety. It allows you to remain steady and persistent, even when results are not immediate. Patience combined with calm control creates a powerful mindset for navigating challenges strategically. Surround yourself with calming influences and environments. Your surroundings impact your emotional state. Spend time in places that make you feel peaceful and energized. Limit exposure to negative news, toxic people, or stressful situations when possible. Creating a calm environment supports your inner emotional balance and enhances your ability to think clearly. Effective problem solving also depends on emotional steadiness. When emotions run high, it's easy to overlook details, jump to conclusions, or make poor choices. Calm control allows you to analyze facts, weigh options, and make decisions based on reason rather than impulse. This level-headed approach increases the likelihood of successful outcomes. Train yourself to respond with thoughtful action rather than reactive emotion. It is also essential to recognize that emotional control does not mean suppressing feelings. Bottling up emotions can lead to build-up and eventual outburst. Healthy emotional regulation involves acknowledging your feelings, understanding their source, and expressing them appropriately. Find safe ways to release emotions, such as journaling, talking with a trusted friend, or engaging in physical activity. This release prevents emotional overload while maintaining your overall calm demeanor. Taking care of your physical health impacts emotional stability. Fatigue, poor nutrition, and lack of exercise weaken your body's ability to manage stress. Prioritize sleep, eat balanced meals, and engage in regular movement. These habits strengthen your nervous system and support steady emotional control. When your body feels good, your mind follows. Learning from past emotional reactions also deepens your control. Reflect on moments when you lost calm and analyze what triggered you. Identify patterns and develop strategies to handle similar situations better in the future. Self-reflection promotes growth and reduces repeated emotional pitfalls. Remember that emotional steadiness is a skill built over time. Don't expect perfection or immediate mastery. Each moment of calm control is progress. Celebrate small victories when you respond thoughtfully instead of reacting emotionally. These successes build momentum and confidence. Start today by choosing one situation that usually triggers strong emotions. Practice awareness of your feelings and apply calm breathing before responding. Observe how this changes your reaction and outcome. Commit to expanding this practice in different areas of life. Keeping your emotions steady while acting with calm control is a foundation for wise decisions and personal growth. This skill helps you face challenges without fear or impulsiveness. It allows you to remain focused on your goals and outsmart obstacles. Developing emotional steadiness creates mental clarity and resilience that lead to consistent success. Your ability to stay calm under pressure is a powerful asset for winning big in life. Chapter 17. Speak less and observe more to think more clearly. In a world that often values speaking loudly and frequently, learning to speak less and observe more is a powerful strategy for thinking more clearly and making better decisions. Talking less does not mean being silent or disengaged. It means choosing your words carefully and dedicating more time to understanding the people and situations around you. Observation opens doors to deeper insight and wisdom because it allows you to absorb information without the distraction of your own immediate reactions or opinions. When you focus on observing before speaking, you gain a clearer picture of reality and a better foundation for strategic action. One of the main benefits of speaking less is that it gives your mind the space it needs to process what you hear and see. When you are constantly talking or interrupting, your brain is often busy forming responses rather than fully understanding the message. By consciously holding back your words, you can listen more attentively and notice details that others might miss. This careful listening sharpens your awareness and helps you pick up on important cues like tone, body language, and emotions behind words. These non-verbal signals provide context that deepens your understanding and informs your thinking. Observing more also means paying attention to your surroundings and the environment. It includes noticing patterns, behaviors, and outcomes over time. For example, watching how people behave in different situations reveals a lot about their motivations and values. Observing trends in your work or personal life helps you anticipate changes and plan accordingly. This habit trains you to think beyond the surface level and connect dots others overlook. The ability to see clearly and anticipate outcomes is essential for strategic thinking and outsmarting challenges. Speaking less protects you from saying things you might regret later. Impulsive speech can lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, or revealing too much information. When you pause before speaking, you have the opportunity to consider if your words are necessary, kind, and constructive. This restraint builds your credibility and respect among others. People notice when you speak thoughtfully rather than reactively. Your words carry more weight because they are measured and intentional. This influence enhances your ability to lead and persuade. Another reason to speak less is that it encourages curiosity and humility. When you admit that you don't have all the answers and choose to learn from others, you open yourself to growth. Asking questions and listening creates an environment of mutual respect and trust. People feel valued when you show genuine interest in their perspective. This openness expands your knowledge and helps you see challenges from multiple angles. It also prevents you from falling into the trap of overconfidence or fixed thinking. Observing more requires patience and mindfulness. It means slowing down your mental pace to absorb what is happening fully. Practice being present in conversations and situations without rushing to respond. Notice the thoughts and emotions that arise within you without acting on them immediately. This mindfulness develops emotional intelligence and critical thinking. It allows you to separate facts from assumptions and make decisions based on reality rather than impulse or bias. When you speak less and observe more, you improve your problem-solving skill. The insights gained from observation help you identify the root causes of issues instead of addressing only surface symptoms. You become better at diagnosing situations and crafting effective solutions. This depth of understanding makes your actions more strategic and increases your chances of success. People naturally turn to you for advice because your responses are thoughtful and well-informed. It's important to recognize that speaking less is not about avoiding communication or withdrawing socially. Instead, it's about quality over quantity. Choose moments to share your thoughts when they add value or clarity. Avoid filling silence just for the sake of talking. Silence itself is a powerful tool that invites reflection and thoughtful dialogue. Learning to be comfortable with silence creates space for better ideas to emerge and for others to express themselves fully. Practicing observation can begin with simple daily habits. For example, when in meetings or conversations, challenge yourself to listen twice as much as you speak. Take mental notes of key points and non-verbal signals. Reflect afterward on what you learned rather than what you said. Outside of conversations, spend time observing nature, people in public places, or your own reactions throughout the day. These practices develop your ability to notice details and think deeply. Incorporating journaling into your routine enhances the habit of observation. Writing down your observations, questions, and reflections helps you process information more clearly. It also tracks patterns and insights over time. Journaling creates a record of your growth in awareness and thinking. Reviewing your notes periodically reveals progress and areas for improvement. Another benefit of speaking less is reducing unnecessary conflicts. Many arguments start because people talk too much without listening. When you observe more, you understand others' viewpoints better and respond with empathy. This approach diffuses tension and fosters cooperation. It strengthens relationships and creates a more positive environment for collaboration and problem-solving. Cultivating curiosity supports the practice of speaking less and observing more. Approach every interaction with a desire to learn rather than to prove yourself. Ask open-ended questions that invite deeper discussion. Curiosity keeps your mind engaged and prevents assumptions or snap judgments. It fuels lifelong learning and adaptability. Key traits of successful strategic thinkers. Learning when to speak and when to listen is a skill that develops with intention and practice. Seek feedback from trusted friends or mentors about your communication habits. Notice if you tend to dominate conversations or interrupt. Work on balancing your contributions with active listening. Over time, you will become more skilled at choosing your moments to speak, making your voice more impactful. Remember that thinking more clearly through observation requires patience. It is tempting to rush decisions or jump to conclusions, but the most effective thinkers give themselves time to gather information and consider options carefully. Practice delaying immediate responses to complex problems. Use that pause to reflect, gather additional input, and analyze consequences. This deliberate pace leads to wiser decisions and fewer regrets. Start today by observing one interaction without speaking much. Focus fully on the other person's words, tone, and body language. Notice how this changes your understanding and response. Commit to increasing your observation time gradually in conversations and daily life. Pay attention to the insights that emerge when you shift from talking to listening. Speaking less and observing more sharpens your mind and enriches your perspective. It enhances your ability to think strategically and act wisely. This practice reduces misunderstandings, deepens relationships, and improves problem solving. By training yourself to pause, listen, and observe, you gain clarity and confidence. You become a more effective leader of your own life and a stronger force for success. This shift in communication is a crucial step toward outsmarting any challenge and winning big in life. Chapter 18. Strengthen your self-discipline with small daily wins. Building strong self-discipline starts with committing to small daily wins that accumulate over time into significant progress. Many people believe discipline is about grand, overwhelming efforts or drastic lifestyle changes, but true discipline is rooted in consistency through manageable actions. When you focus on winning small battles every day, you build momentum, confidence, and habits that support long-term success. These small victories create a positive feedback loop, encouraging you to continue improving and stay on course even when motivation wanes. Small daily wins provide a clear sense of accomplishment that fuels your drive. For example, waking up on time, completing a brief workout, or finishing a task you have been postponing might seem minor, but each action reinforces your ability to follow through. These wins demonstrate that you can control your actions, which strengthens your willpower and reduces the temptation to give up. As you achieve more of these small successes, your self-trust grows, making it easier to tackle larger challenges. Breaking your goals into small, specific steps helps you focus on what you can do today. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire life at once, identify the tiniest actions that move you toward your objectives. This approach reduces overwhelm and procrastination because the tasks feel doable and less intimidating. You can then build on these actions, gradually increasing their complexity or intensity. This gradual build-up solidifies discipline and ensures that your efforts are sustainable. Tracking your daily wins is a powerful tool for maintaining discipline. Use a journal, app, or checklist to record your progress. Seeing consistent achievements, no matter how small, provides motivation and accountability. It helps you notice patterns, identify obstacles, and celebrate your dedication. When you track your wins, you are less likely to lose sight of your goals or let setbacks discourage you. This practice also creates a habit loop that makes discipline an automatic part of your routine. Celebrating small victories is essential for reinforcing positive behavior. Take time to acknowledge and appreciate your efforts, even if the results seem minor. Recognizing your progress boosts morale and encourages you to continue. Celebrations do not have to be extravagant. A simple moment of reflection, sharing your success with a friend, or rewarding yourself with a healthy treat can reinforce the habit. Positive reinforcement strengthens neural pathways connected to discipline, making it easier to repeat the behavior. Building self-discipline through small wins also involves learning to manage distractions and temptations. When you successfully resist a short-term urge that conflicts with your goals, you strengthen your self-control. These moments of choice are like workouts for your willpower. The more you practice saying no to distractions, the more resilient your discipline becomes. Over time, resisting small temptations prepares you to handle bigger challenges without faltering. Another key to strengthening discipline is consistency. Discipline is not about perfection, but about showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Small daily wins require commitment and persistence. It's normal to face days when motivation is low or circumstances are difficult. On those days, doing even a minimal action toward your goal keeps the momentum alive. The cumulative effect of daily consistency far outweighs occasional bursts of intense effort. Accountability supports the process of accumulating daily wins. Share your goals and progress with a trusted friend, coach, or group. Knowing that someone else is aware of your commitments increases your likelihood of following through. Accountability provides encouragement, feedback, and a sense of community. It also helps you stay honest with yourself and prevents excuses that weaken discipline. Adopting a growth mindset is critical in this journey. Understand that setbacks and failures are part of the process, not signs of defeat. When you experience difficulties, view them as opportunities to learn and adjust your approach. This mindset helps you stay focused on progress rather than perfection. It keeps your motivation high and your self-discipline strong, even in the face of obstacles. Visualization can enhance your commitment to daily wins. Take a few moments each day to imagine yourself successfully completing your small tasks. Picture the satisfaction and benefits you will gain from consistent effort. Visualization primes your brain for success and increases your likelihood of taking action. It also connects your daily actions to your larger vision, making discipline feel purposeful and rewarding. Environment plays a significant role in supporting self-discipline. Design your surroundings to encourage positive habits and minimize distractions. For example, keep your workspace organized, remove tempting items that hinder your goals, or set reminders to stay on track. A supportive environment reduces the need for constant willpower and makes daily wins easier to achieve. Regularly assess and adjust your environment to maintain alignment with your discipline goals. Time management is another critical factor. Allocate specific times for important tasks and treat them as non-negotiable appointments. Scheduling creates structure and reduces procrastination. When you dedicate focused time to your priorities, you increase the chances of daily success. Use techniques like the Pomodoro method or time blocking to maximize productivity and maintain discipline. Self-reflection is an important habit that strengthens discipline. At the end of each day or week, review what you accomplished and where you struggled. Reflect on how your actions aligned with your goals and values. Identify what worked well and what could improve. This practice builds self-awareness and provides insights for refining your approach. Reflection keeps you engaged and intentional in your discipline journey. Remember that small wins are stepping stones to larger achievements. Every major success is the result of consistent small efforts over time. By focusing on manageable actions today, you build the foundation for breakthroughs tomorrow. This approach removes pressure and makes progress feel attainable. It empowers you to take control of your growth, rather than waiting for motivation or perfect conditions. Start now by choosing one small action that moves you toward a personal goal. Commit to doing it every day for the next week. Track your progress and notice how this daily win affects your confidence and focus. Gradually add more small wins to your routine and watch how your self-discipline strengthens naturally. Strengthening self-discipline with small daily wins is a practical, effective strategy for lasting change. It builds confidence, momentum, and habits that support your highest goals. This steady approach empowers you to overcome challenges, avoid burnout, and stay committed to your vision. The power of small, consistent victories sets you on a path to outsmart obstacles and win big in life. Chapter 19. Measure your progress weekly and upgrade your strategy fast. Measuring your progress on a weekly basis is a critical habit that keeps your goals visible and your efforts on track. It allows you to pause, reflect, and gain clarity about what is working and what is not. Without regular measurement, it's easy to lose sight of your objectives or continue investing time and energy in strategies that produce little or no results. By reviewing your progress every week, you create a rhythm of accountability that strengthens your focus and drives continuous improvement. Start by defining clear, measurable goals that can be tracked easily. These goals should be specific enough to know when progress is made. For example, rather than saying, "I want to be healthier," say, "I will exercise 3 times a week," or "I will eat vegetables in every meal." Having concrete targets allows you to assess your performance objectively. When you measure weekly, you can see if you met your targets or if adjustments are needed. Use simple tools like journals, spreadsheets, or apps to record your progress. Writing down your achievements and setbacks provides a visual representation of your journey. This record keeps you honest and motivated. It also highlights trends over time, showing patterns of consistency or inconsistency. This awareness is vital because it informs your decisions about how to improve your strategy moving forward. Analyzing your weekly results requires honest self-reflection. Celebrate the wins, no matter how small, to build confidence and momentum. At the same time, critically examine areas where you fell short. Identify specific obstacles, behaviors, or circumstances that hindered your progress. Avoid blaming external factors and focus on what you can control. This mindset empowers you to take responsibility and find solutions. Upgrading your strategy quickly is just as important as measuring progress. Once you identify what is not working, you must act swiftly to change your approach. Sticking to ineffective methods wastes valuable time and energy. Being flexible and adaptive is a hallmark of strategic thinking. Don't hesitate to try new tactics, experiment with different routines, or seek advice from trusted sources. Rapid adjustments help you stay aligned with your goals and maximize your chances of success. To upgrade effectively, break down your strategy into components such as habits, routines, mindset, and external resources. Evaluate each part separately to pinpoint which elements need change. For instance, if your workout plan isn't delivering results, consider adjusting the intensity, frequency, or type of exercise. If your mindset is negative, introduce affirmations or visualization techniques. Small tweaks in multiple areas can create significant overall improvement. Avoid falling into the trap of perfectionism during your weekly reviews. Progress is rarely linear, and setbacks are normal. The goal is to learn and adapt, not to achieve flawless execution immediately. Treat your strategy as a living plan that evolves with your experience and circumstances. This flexible approach reduces frustration and keeps you motivated to continue. Seek feedback from others to enhance your strategy upgrades. Sometimes an outside perspective reveals blind spots or opportunities you might miss on your own. Share your progress and challenges with mentors, peers, or supportive friends. Their input can provide fresh ideas and encouragement. Collaboration enriches your understanding and broadens your options. Prioritize your most impactful actions when upgrading your strategy. Focus on the tasks or habits that produce the greatest results and cut back on low-value activities. This prioritization ensures your efforts are efficient and effective. Use the Pareto principle, which states that roughly 80% of outcomes come from 20% of actions, to guide your focus. Concentrate on what matters most to accelerate progress. Time management plays a key role in successful weekly measurement and strategy upgrades. Allocate specific times each week, dedicated to review and planning. Treat this time as sacred and non-negotiable. Having a regular appointment with yourself creates consistency and reinforces the habit. Use this time to update your records, reflect deeply, and adjust your plan thoughtfully. Maintain a positive attitude during your weekly process. Viewing reviews as opportunities for growth rather than judgment fosters resilience. Remind yourself that every adjustment brings you closer to your goals. Celebrate your commitment to improvement and the courage it takes to face reality honestly. A constructive mindset fuels ongoing motivation and focus. Remember to set realistic expectations for progress. Some goals require patience and long-term effort. Weekly measurement helps you stay patient by showing incremental improvement. It also prevents discouragement by highlighting even the smallest gains. Recognizing progress builds momentum and confidence that sustain you through challenges. Start today by scheduling a weekly review session. Decide on a consistent day and time that works for you. Prepare your tracking tools and set a quiet space for reflection. Commit to this practice for at least a month to develop the habit. Notice how the clarity and control you gain impact your motivation and result. Measuring your progress weekly and upgrading your strategy fast creates a cycle of continuous growth. This practice ensures you remain focused, adaptable, and effective in pursuing your goals. It transforms vague intentions into concrete achievement. By holding yourself accountable regularly and being willing to adjust, you outsmart obstacles and win big consistently. This disciplined approach to progress is a key to lasting success and fulfillment. Chapter 20. Commit to long-term growth and never stop improving. Committing to long-term growth requires a mindset that embraces continuous learning and improvement as a lifelong journey rather than a destination. Growth is not a one-time event or achievement. It is an ongoing process that demands dedication, patience, and resilience. When you fully commit to this path, you open yourself up to endless possibilities for development in every area of your life. This commitment means showing up consistently, even when progress feels slow or challenges arise. Long-term growth starts with setting a clear vision for the future. Without a guiding purpose, it's easy to lose motivation or wander aimlessly. Define what growth means for you personally and professionally. Reflect on the kind of person you want to become and the skills you want to master. This vision acts as a compass that directs your daily actions and decisions. Keep it visible and revisit it often to remind yourself why the journey matters. Understanding that setbacks are natural is crucial to sustaining long-term growth. No one advances in a straight line without obstacles. Failure, mistakes, and disappointments are inevitable parts of progress. Instead of fearing these experiences, learn to welcome them as opportunities to gain insight and strength. Each challenge teaches you valuable lessons that refine your approach and deepen your resilience. Viewing setbacks as feedback rather than defeat transforms how you respond and grow. Consistency is the backbone of lasting improvement. Small daily habits and efforts compound over time into remarkable change. You do not need to make massive leaps all at once. Persistent, steady action produces exponential results. The key is to commit to regular practice of skills, reflection, and self-assessment. When you build routines that support growth, you create a foundation that sustains you through fluctuations in motivation or external circumstances. Continuous learning fuels long-term growth. Adopt the attitude of a lifelong student who is always curious and open to new knowledge. Read books, listen to experts, take courses, and engage in meaningful conversations. Seek feedback actively and apply it constructively. The world is constantly evolving, and so must you. Staying open to new ideas and adapting to change keeps your mind sharp and your skills relevant. Growth also depends on surrounding yourself with the right influences. Build a community of supportive and ambitious people who encourage your development. Avoid toxic relationships that drain your energy or limit your potential. Positive environments inspire you to reach higher and hold you accountable. Collaborating with others exposes you to diverse perspectives and opportunities for learning. Setting goals is important, but long-term growth requires flexibility in how you pursue them. Life circumstances change, and rigid plans can become obstacles if they do not evolve. Be willing to reassess your goals periodically and adjust your strategies as needed. This adaptability ensures that your growth remains aligned with your values and current realities. It prevents stagnation and keeps your journey relevant and meaningful. Celebrate progress regularly to maintain motivation over the long haul. Acknowledge milestones and personal breakthroughs, no matter how small. Celebrations reinforce positive behavior and build momentum. Recognizing growth boosts confidence and reminds you that your efforts are producing results. This positive reinforcement is especially important during times when progress feels slow or invisible. Cultivating patience supports your commitment to ongoing improvement. Growth takes time, and results are not always immediate. Avoid comparing your pace to others or expecting overnight success. Instead, focus on your personal journey and trust that consistent effort leads to transformation. Patience helps you endure difficult phases and prevents burnout or discouragement. Self-discipline plays a vital role in sustaining long-term growth. Staying committed to your practices and goals requires willpower and focus. Discipline enables you to push through distractions, laziness, or temporary setbacks, Strengthening this trait involves creating structures and habits that support your progress. Over time, disciplined action becomes automatic and effortless. Reflection deepens your growth by allowing you to learn from your experiences. Regularly set aside time to review what you have accomplished and where you can improve. Honest self-assessment builds self-awareness and clarity. It helps you identify blind spots and develop strategies to overcome them. Reflection transforms raw experience into meaningful growth. Developing resilience equips you to face inevitable challenges on your growth journey. Resilience is the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and adapt to change. It strengthens your mental and emotional toughness. Building resilience involves cultivating optimism, maintaining perspective, and practicing self-care. Resilient individuals view challenges as temporary and solvable, which keeps them moving forward. Long-term growth thrives on a sense of purpose beyond personal gain. Connect your development to something larger than yourself. This might be your family, community, career mission, or contribution to society. A strong sense of purpose provides meaning and motivation when the path gets tough. It transforms growth from a selfish pursuit into a fulfilling mission. Balance is essential in sustaining growth without burnout. While dedication is important, rest and recovery are equally vital. Ensure you nurture your physical, mental, and emotional health. Engage in activities that recharge you and provide joy outside your goals. Balanced growth creates sustainability and prevents exhaustion. Embracing change is fundamental to continuous improvement. Growth requires stepping into the unknown and being comfortable with discomfort. Resist the temptation to cling to familiar habits or mindsets that no longer serve you. Instead, welcome new challenges and experiences as opportunities to expand your capacity. This openness to change fuels innovation and personal evolution. Commitment to growth is also a commitment to humility. Recognize that no matter how much you learn, there is always more to discover. Humility keeps you grounded and open-minded. It allows you to seek help, admit mistakes, and remain teachable. This attitude prevents stagnation and keeps your potential limitless. Create a personal growth plan that outlines your priorities, goals, and strategy. Having a written plan clarifies your intentions and organizes your efforts. Revisit and revise your plan regularly based on your progress and changing circumstances. This structured approach provides direction and accountability. Start today by making a clear promise to yourself to never stop improving. Identify one area where you want to grow and commit to taking consistent action. Set realistic reticence and prepare for setbacks with a growth mindset. Surround yourself with support and resources to keep you inspired. Remember that each day is an opportunity to become better than yesterday. Committing to long-term growth means embracing a journey without end. It is a powerful choice that leads to mastery, fulfillment, and lasting success. When you dedicate yourself to continuous learning, adaptation, and reflection, you develop the resilience and wisdom needed to outsmart any challenge. This lifelong pursuit transforms your life and empowers you to win big in every area that matters.